Oh, Esports. You and I have come a long way. It was such humble beginnings. As we gathered in small groups, we were professionals right from the start. Passionate, organized, and ready to rumble. We dreamed big, and surely enough, our parents supported us at every step of the way. Didn't they? Fired up by all this love, it wasn't long until we caught the scent of competition. To be honest with you, it wasn't always that easy. Joe here, he had to take on 2 side jobs to afford playing professionally. It's gonna get better, Joe. Fist bump. Some of you dared to not even call this a sport. And look where we are today. An endless stream of esports events every year. Bet you didn't see that coming, Mom and Dad. And you know what? We have been with you every single step of the way.
Dream of working with people you watch on screen. Exclusive esports opportunities handpicked just for you. Candidate profile to raise above competition. Let 10GG handle routines. Make a step towards your dream today.
final day is upon us. We have finally arrived after a long group stage, after a long playoff. We are here at the best of 5 grand finals. I'm Harry Freak. Joining me is Skips, and you're watching the Pinnacle 25-year anniversary show. Whoever wins is taking home $50,000, half of our prize pool. So obviously I'm hyped up, but Gibbs, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling great. It's Finnish independence, so I've been celebrating, been in the ice hole, been in the sauna, so I'm all like refreshed and then of course hyped up with all of the heat and cold. And it's St. Nicholas as well, so a lot of celebrations throughout Europe, but the biggest celebration I get to be a part of today is Pinnacle being 25 years old and of course 13 years in esports. Hey, and it's not going to be long before Pinnacle can vote in esports. That's a pretty hype thought, actually.
Very, very true. In normal sports, they already can. As 25 years, that's pretty much of age. But we have 2 teams that are in the grand finals: the Dudley boyz and Team Falcons. And let's kind of reminisce how they started their journey by going back to the group stage. And here we are at Group B, where Team Falcons Skips, they were undefeated, plus 8 points. That means every single series against each and every one of these teams, they won with 2-0. And I guess it was kind of expected for them to go through. And the Dudley boyz, well, they only lost 1 game in the whole group stage, and that is versus Namiga. So pretty much the same. But overall, they weren't that clean as Team Falcons. But in the playoffs, they showed them what they got, as the Dudley boyz, they beat Team Falcons 2-1, but Falcons fought their way through the lower bracket. And wouldn't you say that we got the 2 best teams in the grand finals for sure?
Yes, I'd absolutely say so. I think that Team Tickles had a little bit too much trouble in the draft. Virtus Pro, a little bit too much trouble in the execution, dropped a couple of balls here and there. So yeah, here we are, Team Falcons. I think everybody expected them to be here, and if you had to pick a second one, it would have been the Dudley boyz. MC's name carries a lot of power, and the rest of his lineup has had a lot of results, actually in previous Pinnacle Cups, so why not them?
Now you're being humble, because we know when the playoffs had started, you already had Dudley boyz as the winners. You said you did it because I chose Falcons, and to be honest, I just wanted to write it first out of all of you guys, so that I choose the Falcons first, and then whoever does it, well, it means that they just copied me. But today we're gonna have a different players for Team Falcons. It's gonna be Fishman. Unfortunately, Snaking is gonna have a 30-hour flight or path, whatever. It's not one flight, I guess, to Kuala Lumpur, so he had to skip the grand finals. Unfortunately, is this a hit to Team Falcons, or are they gonna do pretty well with Fishman as well?
I think they're going to do pretty well with Fishman as well. I think the only thing that really takes a hit here is Falcon's ability to really play the Tundra style. Like, we've seen Skitter and Snaking really fall back on that from time to time in this tournament, but versus the Dudley boyz, that honestly looked like a weakness. So maybe Fishman is a little bit of an upgrade in that he is more of an aggressive player enabler. We're looking at 3 out of 5 from Creepwave right now on this lineup, right? We've got Fishman, ATF, Malrine. It's not gonna lack in synergy here, and I do think that as far as like aggressive play goes, it certainly suits him more.
Yeah, could be the case. And Team Falcons, they've switched up their play style ever since they lost versus the next 5 dudes that are gonna be on our screen right now, and that's not those guys. Of course, it's sure you need to beat yourself first to build yourself up, but to win the tournament, you're gonna have to beat these boys in 9 class. Well, the hero has finally been unlocked, Gips, right? Because he didn't have a picture, but playing so well in that semi-final of the upper bracket, it allowed him to reveal himself, and well, that's a mighty hairdo.
That is a mighty hairdo, and yeah, this was truly an achievement unlocked, by the way, for anybody who wants to see some top-notch Centaur support gameplay. I kid you not. Absolutely game winning. You can go back and look at that upper bracket finals. But you know, this is not the only man on this roster. He's just it's hype to talk about the new guys, right? But Yuma adds, we have Mind Control over on that offlane, winning a couple of matchups that he really shouldn't be allowed to, and Hakoda all coming together to make one of those lineups that's I love seeing the return of these just stacks where a bunch of players put themselves together and we see how far we go, and they have gone very far indeed here.
They definitely have the farthest that you can go up until now. At least you have made it to the last day of the tournament, and now you're going to be getting yourself, and we are going to be getting ourselves in draft of game 1 of the best of 5 grand finals. Dudley boys on the Radiant side, Falcons on the Dire side. Dudley boys, they have the first pick. Falcons, that means they're going to be having the last pick here. And of course, it's not going to be super hard to predict what the bans are going to be, as really these teams have shined on some of the heroes that we are already seeing being taken out.
And we saw the experiment yesterday from Team Tickles to not ban out the Amar Razor. And to be fair, we didn't really get to see the evidence whether or not the Razor was that big of a problem, because they got completely stomped by a Malrine Huskar in Game 1 and then unfortunately had some connection issues in Game 2. But Dudley boys are not going to repeat the experiment. They say we've seen enough. It is 2 Amar heroes plus the Chen, and the Chen is, I think, the winningest that we've seen, apart from maybe the MC Spirit Breaker. I'm surprised Falcons lets them have it.
To me, this just means that they're ready for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be SB, right?
Yeah, as
Other
far
SB.
it is. As far as I remember, they banned it each time versus the Dudley boys in the upper bracket semifinals. So it just goes to show that they have thought about it. They're like, yo, have this one. We can deal with it. And Slardar seems to be the way to go. To be honest, if I have to pick a side after who's happier with the first pick, I'm gonna say Falcons. Their Slardar has been untouchable, well, let's put it that way, and has contributed each and every game so much. I'm not saying that the MC Spirit Breaker hasn't, but Slardar has this ability to enable so many heroes.
Absolutely, and I think the Slardar itself just scales absolutely insanely as well. Like, if the game ever goes long, you don't have to say like, oh well, I just, you know, we just have this utility offlaner or whatever. No, Slardar contributes as a legit damage source, and the amount of uptime on your stun once you hit that level 25 is absolutely insane. So it's not like you have to wait around for that either. Do very much agree with the ban here from the Dudley boys, by the way. I thought that Shadow Demon was going to be the first pick from Falcons. That is how they shut down the Spirit Breaker from Team Tickles as well. Some amazing... was it from Team Tickles?
Was it? Did Team Tickles play this? No, they played the
No,
Dark
that was
Seer.
Virtus Pro, I think. Yeah, it was Virtus Pro.
Yeah, it was Virtus Pro.
It was absolutely insane. The Spirit Breaker did not get to play every single time, disrupted immediately. Crit was in the right position every single gank, and that just made the game unplayable. So, no Shadow Demon for Crit.
I really like those type of players that are always in a great position. Sure, Crit, I've already mentioned so many times about his Earth Spirits, Tusks and stuff like that, and him having the aggressive play potential. But these heroes that you need to stay always in a good position, like Oracle, Shadow Demon, save supports like that are, if you get caught, you're pretty much a goner. It is... Inside of a game, it's kind of boring, but then when the game ends, and let's say if you would talk to your opponents or anybody watching that match, your opponents would be very frustrated with you.
Oh, yeah.
You were their main issue for the entirety of the game, and everybody who is watching it is like, this guy, he was always in the best position, it's so awesome. So you just need to wait those 40 minutes to crush your opponents, and then all of the praises and all of the all the things that you have been lacking throughout the game, they're gonna be coming fastly towards you.
Yeah, I think that for a certain subset of people, certainly like popping off a good save, like, and especially if your team thanks you immediately for it, right, is probably just as satisfying as hitting a good stun. Like, mean, certainly I would feel that way. I know there's a lot of people who would much rather, you know, make the HP bar of the enemy go from 100 to 0, but, you know, keeping my own at 100, that's good too. And we're going in for clockwork, so level dependent initiation, but nothing else for Falcons, just to make sure that it's not only the Slardar that has to do the heavy lifting, and of course pretty annoying for a Spirit Breaker to work around in these team fights.
Very true. You hate the clockwork. If he's very close to you, you cannot charge away. Sometimes you manage to do so, but in the cogs, if the clockwork can maneuver correctly, click next to and not just right click you, you might not even be able to leave the cogs, which is a disaster. Overall, we'll see who plays the clockwork. It is a Fishman hero, so it might not be crit that's gonna be on the clock, as the Dudley boys are gonna be going for the line. The hero has made the resurgence with so many pucks being around. I really like this. It definitely alleviates the pressure of having to ban out the puck, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen the amount of pressure that the Dudley boys are able to apply with this in the lane. Lion, normally not that problematic for the enemy safe lane support to deal with over on the side, right? But he is perfect in harassing you from range, then setting up with a stun. And Spirit Breaker is just going to come over from the lane and kill that support without the carry on the safe lane having anything to do with it. And Lich. Now, I was wondering when all of this physical damage galore in the meta was going to bring this boy back.
I mean, it had to, right? And these teams definitely, well, you know, maybe versus some other teams, Dudley boys and Falcons, they'd be thinking, oh, we're better, we're gonna win versus them anyways. But now, I think both of these teams are aware that the better prepared team is most likely going to be taking the victory. So they've come prepared. They thought long and hard about it. Falcons, they might have thought about this Lich pick as well as Spugna. Definitely one of the best ones to deal with it, with the magic physical damage that it can offer.
Yep, and it really diversifies the draft on the third pick here, right? I think I've said it a couple of times now that I think the draft really solidifies on the third pick, and the enemy, if you're pigeonholing yourself in those first 3 picks already, the enemy usually has a good idea what they need from the last 2 picks in order to abuse the things that you can't make up for anymore. But with Pugna and now Luna, you're bringing in a lot of tower push, you're bringing in a lot of magic damage, 2 things that you absolutely did not get from the first 2 picks. So all of a sudden from Falcons, it looks like a really diverse, well spread out draft with a lot of different damage types and a lot of different ways to amp each other up. And that's hard to counter. I would not be surprised if the Dudley boys had to think for quite a while about the next couple of picks and bans.
I'm thinking Lifestealer though. A lot of stuns on your side, you have protection from the Slardar, you don't care about the magic damage whatsoever, you don't care much about the clockwork. The crap can be annoying, but if you go for the Radiance, you can make a Nullifier later on, so it's not that big of a deal. So I think this might be an opening for it, though Falcons, they've definitely thought long and hard. I like this Luna, the mixture of physical and magical damage definitely deals with the Lich. It is a hero that can buy both the Lincolns and the BKB, which might be needed here and actually benefits from them quite a lot in the damage department, as well as what you need with this hero are stats. So I would like it, and there's the Lifestealer. I think this was the best pick.
It is. I do think that you're very happy to see this if you're going to be playing the Slardar, though. That is definitely a nice lane for the Slardar. And the Lifestealer does
Lich?
not actually get to disengage. Yeah, with the Lich, it's gonna be harder, but it's not gonna be as bad as versus a lot of range matchups, right?
Sure. A troll would definitely hurt more than a Lifestealer. But I've seen Lifestealers, you know, they're usually greedy. They get Blades of Attack, then they get Boots, and then they get the Chainmail. In this lane in particular, just get the Chainmail. Get the Chainmail, rely on the Lich Frost Armor, and I think you're fine. Right, you might not be killing the Slardar, though who knows, Liches can be very annoying. We usually forget about this. The cooldown of the Frost Blast level 1 is just... It's too small, right? Very easy to run people down.
It is. I mean, at least these days you can be happy that he's going to empty his mana pool if he relies on it too much, but it's still, especially the built-in slow as well with the life. It is a strong lane, and I'd have to imagine that Clockwork is definitely going to end up in Fishman's hand and go safe lane now. There's no switching out there. Pugna needs to be on the side lane with the Slardar.
Punch the Lifestealer, constantly punch him so that he feels threatened. and really you do want to have some magic damage and also movement speed there in general, right? If you get very close with the clockwork, there's a good chance you're not getting out, and you're not doing anything with this hero if you're not getting close.
Agreed. Dudley boys, by the way, moving the Malrine Huskar firmly off the table, and you know what, as hype as it was to see like a really good Huskar game and like seeing, you know, completely outdrafted enemy, on the other hand, that wasn't much of a game. And as much as a coach, I'm like, hell yeah, 1-0, let's knock this one out of the park. If you're here on the commentator's desk, you're like, oh man, this one's over.
Yep.
So glad to see it removed. Sorry guys. If you missed the Huskar, you can go back for it.
Casting games that are over from minute 1 is sometimes fun. Main reason is you don't necessarily see it too often. Then you have to act during the game, at least for the first 10 minutes. That, oh, who's gonna win? Oh, maybe he's gonna turn this one around. You know it's not gonna be that way. But building tension can be fun. Though in the end, you only find out you've been lying to yourself and the viewers all this time.
He's giving away all the secrets on air.
Cheers. Everybody knows our secrets. Everybody just acts like they don't. So now we're everything is on the table.
We pretend the game is interesting, and you pretend to believe us.
Ooh, that is awesome. As they ban out the Invoker on Falcons. Falcons do have the last pick here, so we'll see how they actually end the draft. Lina is left in the pool, which could be a good one for both of these teams.
I really don't think you can afford to on the Dudley boys though. Like, not only are the Clockwork and Slaughter constantly going to have your number, you're also playing into Pugna. That Netherward is nothing to scoff at. I don't think you can.
Okay. Then it's better for Falcons, as Lina here looks pretty solid. Getting a Yules versus the Spirit Breaker versus the Lich looks pretty decent. You want the Lincolns later on. You might not need a Blink here, and you're actually gonna have really good vision from your teammates, as you have night vision from the Luna and of course Clockwork and the Slaughter to work with. So I'd be okay with Malrine getting that.
I would be, but there's that Spirit Breaker again as well. Like, whoever picks the Lina here is certainly in for a wild ride. It's not going to be an easy one whatsoever. And the Dudley boys take it out. They were not about to take it themselves.
It is a hero that Malrine has had really good success on, so it makes sense to get him out of his comfort zone. You have allowed Amar to be in his comfort zone. Imagine what happens if both of them are.
Oof, yeah. And with the Primal Beast, you see, before this match was starting, I was sure that the Dudley boys would not get their hands on the Primal Beast again. If you look at this lineup, Spirit Breaker, Lifestealer, Primal Beast, I wonder if this isn't like literally one of the 3 cores that they beat Falcons with before. It was fast, it was brutal, and Falcons just never had the damage to do anything against layer upon layer, wave upon wave of big brawly boys smashing their faces in.
Let's go. There's Malrine. There's okay.
Malrine.
I'm scared for the Dudley boys. Yeah. If this line doesn't have a good game, gets early level 6 and starts killing the Timbersaw, it is a problem. And it was already shown that Malrine can crush a Primal Beast in the lane. Sure, it was with a Huskar, but Timbersaw might not be as strong, but he's going to be pretty strong as well. This guy tends to sometimes completely skip the reactive armor and just go full on in murder mode. So I think we are in for a treat, Kips.
I think so as well. I think that everybody in this match right now has the kind of hero that they can shine on. And that usually means that we're in for some top tier Dota. And yeah, this is a phenomenal Timbersaw pick, isn't it? You're up versus triple strength core. They don't have any access to magic damage. Honestly, their only way of getting to you is simply to snowball the game as hard as they did before, because the Dudley boys did beat that exact Malrine Timbersaw before, I do think.
They
came to.
No,
was it Amar?
It was the Amar Timbersaw.
It was an Amar Timbersaw.
Oh,
yeah.
Finally, okay, we finally get to actually see who's the better Timbersaw, right? They're always gonna give you some answers when you ask them in interviews. Oh, it's different an off lane to a mid lane Timbersaw. No, we didn't ask you that. We asked you who's the better Timbersaw. We don't care about the little intricacies. So here we're definitely gonna be finding it out, Kips. If they win this game, it's it's done and dusted. Malrine is a better Timbersaw.
Easy. Namar not nearly as smirky as he was yesterday.
Oh, this is serious. This really is serious. So, Kips, a serious question. Who's winning game 1? Who's taking the lead in the grand finals?
Who is winning game 1? I do actually think that Timbersaw is going to present a really big problem, especially from the mid lane where he's going to be up versus Ads. Ads is going to be the big engine of this team. I want to believe in the MC Spirit Breaker. We've seen it do phenomenal things, but between how good of a Timbersaw pick this is and the fact that Slardar is one of the winningest heroes we currently have in Dota 2, I'm going to go lean Falcons.
Okay, let's get into the game to see if that's really gonna be our winner of game 1 of the best 5 grand finals. I think I agree with you. We talked in the draft about giving both Amar and Malrine their comfort heroes. These guys are known for not having ultra wide hero pools, and they get pretty much their signature heroes. Malrine, the Timbersaw for him is number 1. And Slardar for Amar, it's maybe number 2, right? Just behind the Razor. Maybe 3 Mars. Okay, number 3. I'm sorry, Kips. But anyways, it is pretty solid for them. Plus, the Dudley boys, the way that they won in the semi-final of the upper bracket is because 9 class completely shined on his centaur. Now he doesn't have it. Sure, he shined on the line as well, but that game that he played it was unwinnable for the Dudley boys. So I do think Falcons most definitely have an edge.
I think so as well, but it is really all down to the Dudley boys because their laning stage has looked impeccable so far, and they're going to have very good lanes, at the very least over on the side lanes, with both the Lifestealer plus that Lich we've talked about in the draft going to be doing just fine versus the Slardar, and then of course the possible kill potential from that Spirit Breaker Lion combination. So Malrine wants a high five. I think Ads is ready for this. He is not going to suffer as hard as yesterday versus the Huskar. So it's I don't want to say it's all good, but certainly all better than yesterday.
Yeah, sure, but we're already seeing him losing half of his HP, which is not going to be good. This bottom lane for me is going to be interesting because when Slardar is in the meta, the Lifestealer usually suffers. But across the years, the Lifestealer's armor has done good. And if there's a Slardar in the meta and a Lifestealer in the meta, we usually see the boy Lich, right? Who equalizes it, sometimes even takes it in favor of the Lifestealer. But Atlantic has to be careful. He's actually going for the kill.
You have to be careful.
Malrine, he's the one that has to run away. He was waiting for the Whirling Death, thinking there was gonna be a kill, but it's the other way around. Zantic is winning.
Do not underestimate the early magic damage output of Ads, and especially like the fragility of a Timbersaw. So much of what we know of like Timbersaw being super tanky, it all has to do with the armor, with the stacks. But as far as his stats are concerned, it's not quite the same as a Primal Beast.
9 class missing the stun. He wanted to catch the creeps as well, and Mind Control has to come over to help. Well, Clockwork is one of those heroes that you really don't want to be fighting with on the side too much, as he's much stronger than you. And then even if the Spirit Breaker does connect, it's not like you're going to be doing that much damage to the Clockwork. He actually loves being isolated to the side. So now I'm understanding even more why he was picked. And there it is, Mind Control coming over. Nice cancel from the Luna Fishman. He got slowed down by the Blood Grenade, but he's looking like he's gonna live. 9 class will have a stun soon, which will connect. Mind Control, however, has to get back to the lane, and it's just gonna be an epic battle between Fishman and 9 class that Fishman will, being the bigger man, just walk away from.
Certainly the faster man.
And it's kind of weird to say for a Clockwork that he's a bigger man. He's literally a Keen Folk, which is the equivalent of like gnomes, I guess.
Yeah, roughly.
Pretty much.
Oh, still denied there. Skidder. And the Skidder's having a great landing stage here so far. Look at the amount of denies that the Luna has accumulated here, with the SB's animation certainly being inferior to hers. She is getting a lot of experience missing from the Radiant side.
Yeah, pretty solid for the Luna. The strength though of the Well, the Spirit Breaker in the line comes down to them killing the Luna, especially when Hakoda decides to rotate. I guess that's when the Lifestealer has the phase boots, and there, look at it, he bought the chainmail. Very smart from Yuma. He knows what he's doing. No reason to be greedy in this lane. You get the chainmail, and you're actually gonna be winning this lane, which for now, he's not winning, but at least he's kind of equal to the Slider.
Exactly, and I think you're completely right. I don't see the Clockwork leaving the top lane at all. If he does, especially like if he does so visibly, then his Luna is going to die immediately unless she backs all the way off, because you bet your bottom dollar that Nightglass is going to be looking for him.
So it is 0-0. Nobody wants to go super aggressive. We still haven't really kick-started off this grand final until somebody dies. And it feels weird wishing for somebody's death, but in Dota, we know they all come back, so it really doesn't matter, right? They're gonna be back after just a couple of seconds, especially on the early levels.
Back sooner than you wish sometimes.
Very true. The Skitter is starting to take some damage, and this is where it becomes scary for Luna. Sure, Lucent Beam is amazing at stopping the charge, but if MC is right next to you, that's really not gonna happen. So we'll see if they can actually threaten hit Skitter's life here. For now, he's very close to the tower, so he's gonna be fine.
Yes, he's got about half a level up on them as well, so as long as they manage to keep pumping enough harass into the Radiant side, I guess she doesn't have to be too afraid, but actually they're looking really healthy over on the Dudley boys.
Oh, what a good glyph there. They saw that the pull was gonna come through and there was nothing they could do about it. Crit is really crushing that bottom lane, actually. And then they use the glyph to make sure that the pull doesn't happen. Very smart approach for sure. Is Nineclass dead? A nice charge. Might be Fishman that's in trouble, especially if these bashes continue. MC, how lucky are you? Slow wasn't enough, and Xantic will be rotating as well.
That's here.
Luna has the extra night vision, so he's gonna know, but Xantic, he's going for the Luna. Actually, he just turns around on the Fishman, and there's the kickstart to our grand final. Xantic finishes off Fishman. The first rotation will be successful, obviously. His mid lane is not going as well as it did in the early levels, but he's gonna be equalizing that by getting himself a first blood.
And it shouldn't be too unexpected that he does this these days, because we've seen him rotate on level 5, once even on level 4, I think. And it's just been so effective for him getting his first kills off. And now the Luna has to be careful for a little while, and yet, of course, the problem that we're sort of glossing over here is right here, the wave moving into the mid tower, Ads having to clear it up, drag it off. Fishman was not choosing the right flank though, as Amar.
He's pretty much that 9-class rotating to the bottom lane. I thought this was not going to do anything because the wave was pretty much at the tower. But the thing is that at this point of the lane, that Amar wants to be aggressive. And it is a problem. Xantic, is he going to stay in the bottom lane, maybe kill Amar again? That would be a cool play. He can't though. It's going to cost his mid lane tower way too much and might actually feel too obvious.
Yeah, and he's really the only one that can hold that middle tower as well. Neither of your supports are currently able to come there yet. And you being missing is indeed way too obvious, as we're going to see some sneaky shenanigans to get over towards that Wisdom Rune.
Marine is top.
Yeah, the MC can't actually come there as versus a lion. Pretty rough if you're crit. Unless you can kill him.
9-class, he can't use the stun, he can't take the rune, and he can't live. That Nether Ward damage, what the hell, Hakoda? At least he took the Wisdom Rune. So his death is not gonna be for nothing, but this is amazing. And this is what I see every time when Malrine plays this Timbersaw. It's just stupid how well he finds openings on the map.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, and he's prepared to move really far forward for them as well. That said, Xantic is going to be happy. It was a 50-50 on the runes. He was necessary. He gets the shot with phase boots. And might just be thinking about coming into the stop goal. Yeah, there we go.
Mind Control is in so much trouble. He just died. Doesn't want to die again. Actually, will be surviving there with the stick charges, but not for long. Malrine snipes him from afar. The first chakra wasn't amazing there. So inside of the cogs, it wasn't doing the damage, but he wasn't gonna miss on the second one. Yuma left alone versus Amar. Who's winning this fight? It seems that Amar is the stronger of the two, and Yuma will be pushed back.
As soon as the Lich is gone, this is 100% into the starter's favor, so Yuma really has to take it easy here for a while his supports are showing on it, and they're gunning for Malrine.
Yep, they know he doesn't have that much reactive armor, so he's in trouble. Will get smashed into the ground, and the charge in the end, it just gave them vision. It wasn't even needed for mind control to come over. To be honest, though, a level 4 Spirit Breaker feels more like a support at the moment than a core, but at least mind control got some experience from that kill. Huge kill.
Pretty darn big. You get a lot of experience out of that. You get, of course, the threat of the Timbersaw slow pushing your towers off the map for a little bit. It's exactly the kill that you would want if you're on the Dudley boys, and they might be gunning for it a couple times more.
Yeah, probably. You want to kill him super fast. Yuma did rotate. Fishman is in trouble. Malrine, he's waiting. He's baiting. Fishman, the cogs protecting him. He baited so much. It's insane. But I think they saw Malrine there for a second, and it's just bail. He's too powerful. He's going to kill us all. So a good call from the Dudley boys to just get themselves out.
Very measured in their aggression here. That means they're just going to rotate back through the jungle, grab themselves that enemy bounty room. That said, Malrine is now bot, and Yuma is going to have to bail as well. I don't think he can stay on his lane anymore.
Versus a Slardar, maybe. You have the Helm of the Iron Will and the Phase Boots, so armor is there. But if the Timbersaw is there, it is rough.
It's pretty much impossible. I mean, Lich is back there with him, but at this point, you can't afford to just have your Lich sit there and babysit all the time anymore. The rest of the map is moving.
It is. And you can see as soon as they saw the Lich, they got themselves away. Fishman will slow the Lion. But what is he going to be doing about MC? Nice push towards the Lion. Blood Grenade is there. A couple of hits, and 9 class gets the kill. I guess Mind Control would have wanted that one. You want the Midas to pull you out of this dumpster that you've been put in the laning stage. But being involved in kills is still going to feel good.
It's still nice, and the fact that no reactions is coming, you don't lose your life here, you get at least 1, maybe 2 uncontested creep waves here. It's the fact that you're not going to be an early game monster is very annoying, because one of the things that Spirit Breaker is good at, but the other thing that we've always seen is that SB always gets his farm back, even if he keeps constantly dying, just because of his absurd ability to clear creep waves.
Yeah, you clear creep waves, you have a Midas, it's pretty easy to stay fine there. Look at this, Leicester gets corrosive haste on him. He has 6 armor, 9 in the tower. And Amar says 6 armor, 9 in the tower. It is not enough to survive my hits. Lich is here.
Yuma was gonna ask you for this one.
What? Goodbye, Yuma. Hakoda thought he was gonna be saving him, but it's not the physical damage that he needed saving from. That is such a fast kill. The reaction time just wasn't there. He got bashed in the perfect time.
Yeah, and the speed of this action is super important, because if you make this move about, let's say, 10 seconds later, Ads has that blade mail, and probably Yuma's not that far forward anymore, and they're going to look to counter rotate. No time for that. No items for that.
Now, Dudley boys are going to be understanding that you cannot ban out both of these guys' hero pools, so maybe just get rid of one, let the other one play whatever he wants, because if they both play whatever they want, this is the result. Malrine Timbersaw, I haven't seen it for some time, and now I remember why.
Yeah, and they kind of set him up to have a perfect game with it as well.
Yep. For sure. He still is killable, especially with the finger being ready, but you need to know where he is. With the blink dagger, he's everywhere on the map, even steals the invis jewel. So now you're gonna be even more afraid if you're the Dudley boys, because he could just come out of anywhere.
He could indeed. At the very least, Armut is ready over on Yuma, and he's going to move into the Radiance after, if I saw that correctly. So he is going to, I mean, he's battle ready if he needs to be. Really, an Armut is all Lifestealer needs, but with the Radiance build, I imagine it's going to take a while before we actually see him.
He's not going to be doing too much. He wants to be farming. The problem is his tower has fallen. That is one of the perks of the Lifestealer, that your tower is very hard to get down. When there's a Slardar and a Timbersaw on the other side pushing you out, even killing you, it's not that rough to get it down, and they've managed to do it. So Yuma is gonna have a rough time until he finishes, and Radiance isn't really an item that wins you the game. You still need so much more.
No, exactly. That's really all about just actually contributing to the fight, securing your farm for the entirety of the game. As I think he's got Fishman done and dusted for.
Is under attack.
Was the smart move there? Use the battery assault or not? I don't know. I would seriously considering not using it, but then I get pulverized. It's so weird.
I don't know. Yeah, you get gone on. You push your buttons. It's only human.
Okay, makes sense. Malrine gets himself away. This Blink Dagger has been allowing him to make a ton of plays. Next item is going to be a Kaya, so probably going to be going into a Sanjin Kaya, understanding just it's all about killing the enemy heroes as fast as possible. And status resistance is not bad to have. The lockdown potential of the Dudley boys is still quite high, despite you having a good lead. You can very easily be destroyed from 100 to 0. 9 class, he's the guy that contributes to being destroyed from 100 to 0, but this time around he's gonna be the one on the receiving end of it. His shenanigans walking in the enemy woods, not gonna be working out.
No, and he's also not going to get to buy a Blink Dagger immediately this game, versus especially the Slardar and the Clockwork, but also versus the Timbersaw. You want a 4-staff, and they're crawling in the mid lane. Lich?
Yep, at least the Lifestealer will survive. Hakoda as well gets out alive from there. Malrine has a haste, has popped it right now, and thinks he might be able to run down Hakoda. We'll find out that's not possible. Mind control, he's charging Amar, but you're gonna be surrounded by enemies. It's time to run. That's exactly what they do. Yuma actually leaves the creep, goes for the rage TP out. Mind control, he's not gonna have that luxury, and he will die really, really fast. From these two, neither his armor nor his HP can survive what these two are delivering.
Yeah, and really what this Timbersaw provides now, and in general the Slardar of course as well, is that finally Falcons have burst damage, both magical as well as physical on their side, which is the last time that they got demolished by the Dudley boys. They tried a couple of different defensive options, they tried to teamfight to reset their way out of it, but instead right now the response is simple. If Dudley boys go for them at all, and maybe the Dudley boys get kill to open up with, right? They have enough burst, they have enough disable, but you're going to hit back that much harder. It's just all about the DPS on this Falcons lineup, and now with Aegis as well, who are you going to pick off exactly if you're the Dudley boys without getting completely destroyed in the process?
And they're coming over, they might get it in time, but Malrine has double life. He's not that high in mana. With 16 1 charges though, that's not gonna pose too much of a problem. It's time to run, the Dudley boys. You are not prepared to take this fight.
Absolutely not. Slardar also moving up on a Blink Dagger. After that, if you're the Dudley boys and you're not the ones initiating, you're going to have both the Slardar as well as the Timbersaw picking whichever targets they want and destroying them. And Dudley boys right now, you have the Lion, you can stop off one jump, but that's about it.
This is one of those moments, if you're Hakoda, you're telling your team that you're dead. Nobody really cares, nobody's even gonna try to pull you out of that, as it would pretty much just kill the entirety of your team. Malrine, he's getting his mana refilled, so Crit being a very nice butler to this Timbersaw, while Mind Control is carrying the Lifestealer. Feels like these cores, they can't do anything but by themselves, Gibbs. Everybody needs somebody to assist them.
Yeah, which is normally kind of the truth in general, right? You don't really get to make solo plays these days unless you're really far ahead. But I guess that's why it's very clear right now that Falcons is really far ahead.
9 class will get marked. He might have the Tumbler's Toy. There it is. Gets himself to the low ground. He understood that's the way to escape. Actually saves both his and Hakoda's life. 9 class, despite his team losing, he's still I'd say the most impressive player on his team. He's making these small plays that are keeping them somewhat in the game, or at least keeping them from dying. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think Ads did really good in the early phase of the game, but at this point, ever since he got the Blade Mail, we've seen only one kill from him, and it feels like he is too scared to sacrifice his scaling in order to actually allow the rest of his team to get the foot of Falcons off of their neck. It's
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's looking rough.
It is looking very rough. There we saw the illusion of the Primal Beast. Guys, do not get surprised by it. Yeah, you pretty much can't tell what it is because the set is too huge, and that little part that is supposed to be the bluish color of the illusion is almost invisible. But yeah, it was an illusion, and it wasn't a bug that its Antic's name wasn't showing. Hakoda again dropping low, but he keeps surviving. The Lich is actually pretty hard to bring down.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So what's next, Gibbs? Let's talk about that. What's next for the Dudley boys? How do they play this game? What do you do? You've already lost 2 of your tier 2s.
They do. At the very least, the BKB is up for Atlantic, so I think this is one of the reasons that he's been sitting further behind that you really do want him to. Right? He recognizes that he's not going to be able to fight his way towards a BKB, which you normally do on the Primal Beast. So if you want to secure having a game on the long term at all, that is what you need. But the problem is really that his Lifestealer is still going to take a while to be fight ready. So I think you have to make a play with 4 because before the Radiance happens, yeah.
Now you dwell.
The Lifestealer doesn't even know how close to death he was. I don't know if you were seeing that. A Mars smoke wasn't breaking, and if it was daytime, you would have seen Yuma. Nighttime vision didn't allow him to do so. He's not a Luna. He doesn't have the extra night vision, so Yuma will luckily survive. And in the end, it's 9 class that goes down.
I'd like to see maybe a little bit more risk towards pushing out this mid and this bottom wave, just because you hope to eventually get down the mid and the top tower.
Let's see, Malrine. Is that the hero you go for? Considering he has the Aegis, I'm gonna say no.
Here. Yeah.
Yep. It's so rough, right? If this was half a year ago, you'd find a hero there and you'd know that he's most likely alone. Nowadays, not so much. There's a twin gates there, meaning that in 5 seconds they could be right on top of us, and this guy does not die that easily. So a nice call for Dudley boys to just get themselves away.
Yeah, but very unfortunate for them and very accurately played from Falcons, right? That those are the only kind of opportunities they give, the ones that aren't really any opportunities at all, the ones that are just simply fakes. And now you're gonna lose your Tormentor. They were sort of teleporting in here on the Dudley boys like they wanted to contest, but once again too little too late. Now you're gonna lose 9 class.
9 class is taking so much damage. The Slardar will get caught. Tamar trying to get himself away with the Lucent Beam. He will be allowed to do so. 9 class also buying back and will accomplish absolutely nothing with it. From the other side, Mind Control is thinking about a charge, but they knew about it. The tower saw him. Falcons are gonna be more than safe. They've taken down every outer tower pre 20 minutes or around 20 minutes, and that's a pretty bad position to be in if you're Dudley boys. They know they have to smoke. Some kind of map control needs to be established.
And they're going to look maybe for some pickoffs on the retreat of Falcons,
yeah, vision.
but yeah.
The Mind Control is keeping them in place. He cannot leave. He cannot leave the cog. Save him. Get him out of prison. And Malrine goes in. Doesn't care. Okay, he should have cared, but because that's gonna be an amazing Chain Frost. He gets a double kill. Nope. He just wanted to bait more of you in. And here comes Screed. Have my life, Malrine. He's gonna be waving goodbye. And that Onslaught will not allow him to escape. Finally, Hakoda will bring him down as Yuma slaughters Screed as well. And it seems that Mind Controls in 9 classes life are not gonna be lost in vain.
Very scary still for the Dudley boys. The amount of damage that the Timbersaw does to them is absolutely ridiculous, but luckily for them, they have the numbers advantage this time, and the daring escape. For a second there, I thought that the Timber was actually going to get out. That was an absolute disaster.
Definitely it would have been, but the Onslaught came off cooldown, luckily for the Dudley boys. It just did. If it was a second earlier, it would have been a problem. Look at Mind Control in prison.
Yeah, there's nothing any of these heroes can do versus the Clockwork. Just super lucky that it's only the 2 of them here. You get that beautiful Chain Frost, and then adds gets to
Okay, at least something. Malrine dying is a huge deal. The thing is, this Luna is not being addressed whatsoever. And you have buffs for the Luna. It's one of those heroes like the Gyrocopter that you won't have some buffs for when she reaches that critical mass. I feel like with the BKB, the critical mass will pretty much be reached, and that's only 350 gold away. So what do you do about this hero, especially because the second Roche is on the horizon?
Honestly, I'm still not too sure. Like, this was a nice bonus, and it means that Az is going to be moving his way towards the heart. But the real one that you want to have the item progression on is still Skitter, and he finished off his Radiance. Or sorry, excuse me, Yuma. He finished off his Radiance, and they're going to go for another Infest try here. But I don't think it's going to connect on anything. They just don't have the vision over on this side of the map, so really all they can do is place the vision, unless here... Well, Amar offers himself up.
He finished off his Aghanim Scepter. It's being delivered, but he doesn't have it at the moment, so he'll die before he gets it. And the Xantic gets a mega kill. The Spiral Beast, despite not doing that well in the laning phase, is still doing quite well for himself. Is standing his ground inside of the cogs. Now needs to run away, being protected by the Frost Shield as well. With the Onslaught, he'll get himself to the low ground while 9 Class gets slaughtered by Malrine. Chain Frost is still bouncing, not only onto the creeps. The Skitter doesn't really care much about it. Dakota tries to go for TP out. Lucent Beam comes off cooldown and stops it. Not only with the stun, but also with the damage as well. He loses his life. It's going to be a 2-for-1. Not too bad for the Dudley boys.
Absolutely not. You got a core kill. All of your cores get out. And Yuma is nearing his Assault Grass, which is... you'd hope that you'd also have, I don't know, a pipe ready on the lineup, right? But there's absolutely nobody who can build it. So at the very least, the extra AoE armor is going to do a ton of work versus the Slaughter, versus the Luna, as well as that the Radiance Burn is going to help you out versus your illusions. It's the best you can get, and I think that fight, as far as like fights where you take the initiative as the Dudley boys, is also probably the best you can get. I said that there's a DD rune waiting on the Luna right now. That scares me, and she's near a high ground, and they've got a kill. Not Yuma.
You're not getting out of that one, Yuma, unless there's help, and 9 Class is ready. 9 Class is ready. He opens up for Yuma to come in and will be able to force himself to the high ground. That's pretty nice play. Again, it's 9 Class that is bailing his teammates. Everybody's counting on him.
Open up your heart and let me in.
There needs to be love there to kind of cover for all the hate that Falcons are exercising towards their opponents. He might not be using the DD to push the high ground and kill you, but he will be using it for the Roche, and this is going to be one of the fastest ones that we see.
Yeah, he's going to be back for your buildings. That's alright. Luna is all about the tower consequences, after all.
So does the Lifestealer have a shard? I feel like that's a no. I kind of think it might be a necessity.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think he sort of counted the minutes, right, to like, alright, when is the Luna going to be on our high ground, and the usual timing, like if the Luna's having a good game, and she is 25 minutes, he's like, nope, I get to either finish my AC or have the shard, not both. I'm picking the AC.
I'm guessing Malrine is working towards a Hex. No, actually he wants an Octarine core. I expected a Hex from him, as he already had the Blink, but that's not going to be something that he'll be gunning for. Overall though, Lich is pretty solid at defending your high ground, and Mind Control will charge away in time before the hookshot connects. If it did, then it would have been a problem. But Xantic comes over, shows off his blade mail. He doesn't want to pop the BKB, but maybe you should have. And now he's gonna be in the cogs again. As Xantic pops the BKB, turns around to pulverize. It is gonna be okay for him for the time being. With the onslaught, he gets himself away. No more hookshot to follow, as Falcons again don't get a kill, but that's gonna be all when it comes to the longer BKB charges. Now he's down to 6. 9 Class being taken down, and Amar just stomps the ground, and 9 Class with it. No Frost Shield at the moment to protect the tier 3, but the glyph will be there for the next 7 seconds.
The next 7 seconds, what is it gonna do for you? You don't have the BKB on ads now. For sure, these buildings are gonna fall.
It's so hard to play Dota. It is so hard to play Dota for the Dudley boys. And this is it. Their Spirit Breaker has been beaten, Gibbs, and this is a problem. Your undefeated hero throughout the tournament in the first game of the grand finals has most likely been defeated. From what we're looking at right now, Dudley boys, they have low chances of winning this game.
I agree. At the very least, I guess they got another tower down. And I still feel like if you want MC to have a chance at like coming back in this game and being annoying, you needed to have somehow finessed more towers away from Falcons. And it's hard to point out the moments where they should have, right? But maybe if MC has a little bit more space, you can go for a little bit more shenanigans. That said, this might be a very deadly shenanigan indeed. You cannot afford anywhere near the start. No, dude.
Dash, nicely done by mind control. Uses broken saves as life stealer. That was beautiful mind control. Dying for your friend. I cannot explain just how much this has touched my heart.
I'd cry, but that would ruin the makeup.
Yep. The Hyperstone of Yuma did die, however, so his soul was kind of chipped on when his career died.
Yeah, that's an issue.
For sure. That means no AC. That means this Aegis that's there for another minute and 40 can be used for another lane of racks. There is only one more glyph for the Dudley boys to use. No more refreshes for you.
No, at the very least your supports have their defensive kits complete, but you don't have any good ways to keep the weight off the tower apart from just using a little shield, and otherwise, yep, it's literally Ads just has to go in and tank.
Uproar helps versus the corrosive haze, but what helps 9 class? He doesn't have the uproar, but he's definitely screaming for immediate buyback. That's his second buyback of the game. The Raxes are exposed, and the Glaives are gonna start bouncing for support. It's gonna be very rough to get close to these Raxes. Look at 9 class, he has been marked, and those Glaives, they hurt. Bye-bye.
Ads got stunned out of his charge again.
It's impossible. Elusive Beam is way too powerful. He's stopping the charge, stopping the onslaught. Malrine has the Aghanim Scepter. He's not dying through that reactive armor. And that's gonna be a second lane of Rax. Lifestealer getting out. They're focusing on a Pugna that didn't even die. Now the hook shot onto the Lifestealer. The stun from the line will be amazing, as well as the onslaught onto the two of them. Advantage is trying to finish off the Luna. It's only the first time the Chain Frost was amazing. Now it will stop. Trying to finish off the starter. He has the cheese and will be eating it, which leaves Azantic stranded, surrounded by enemy heroes. But 9 class again with a beautiful stun covers for him. It is a 4 versus 4 scenario where Team Falcons, they have all of their cores. Dudley boys are not so lucky.
They are not so lucky indeed. I guess you could be thankful that you still have your middle racks, that you got to defend it somehow there, but 9 class buying back again. The fact is you really only get a clockwork out of that entire thing. You popped the Aegis, you took away the cheese, you've shown your teeth, but you're also running out of options, and I legitimately think Falcons can just run up this high ground 3 more times. If you lose a couple of heroes, so what? Your buildings are gonna fall.
Will they even be losing those heroes? The Frost Shield is protecting your tower, not from the Nether Blast, however, so it is falling rapidly. There is a glyph, the last one, that you're probably going to be using in this game 1.
Yeah, and Yuma has his AC now. BKB over on MC. This is everything that you're going to have. All of the ults, at least on the cores up, but the Chain Frost has been so instrumental to every single good fight that the Dudley boys have had. You need to be very careful to fight without it, so now they could go. The first has already been done.
Coda coming forward, the Sinister Gaze used on Malrine. He's gonna be giving his life away for a Malrine kill. Oh, he got the reactive armor off. It's not enough. They finish him off before it actually starts spreading. As buyback comes out from the Lich, he just got it back, but they will be losing 9 class who can't come back into this one. Skitter, he's gonna be healed by his little butler and will not be going down. Way too strong. Yuma standing his ground. He does have the Frost Shield protecting him. They can't go through the defender's gate. So Amar, you're on your own. Where are my teammates? Why are they not helping me? They're right next to me, but they cannot pass. At least Crit can give his life. The Chain Frost again, it's bouncing. Amar is fine. Fishman coming in with the jetpack, and just like Iron Man saving his teammate, it's gonna be Amar surviving. Falcons, they still haven't taken the last racks, even though they're getting very, very close to it.
The fact that Hakoda there does not get the Chain Frost off, he's just too far out of position there to tunnel vision on getting that one last fight right there. This is the one, boys, this is it. And Goda gets out of position. It means no good chain frost. It means a lot more death than you think you would have had on the Dudley boys. And Falcons, all they need to do is just reset, go back, wait for the respawn, and they'll be right back in. And it hurts to look at Yuma during his fights. He deals no damage, like the Slardar in his own puddle basically out-regens him.
Yep, and now Slardar has the AC as well, so it definitely counters your AC that you thought was gonna be possibly a game-changing item with a 30k gold lead, 27 to be exact. It's very hard to think that you're gonna have any kind of an item advantage.
Absolutely. And that leaves it just that maybe Falcons making this play, maybe they go too deep. They've done that before, but this time, surely Nightglass is dead.
Out. Nineclass, he's still alive, but the chakra finishes him off. Malrine, he's gonna be able to do it. Meanwhile, at Xantic, he's stuck in the cogs. He definitely needs a Michael Schofield to escape, and he's making his grand escape. There's gonna be one more hit from DeLuna that finishes him off. Skidder is on a killing spree, and so is Crit in the backlines, finishing another hero while MC is charging away. But where are you charging away to? Your base is in shambles, and they will accept defeat in game 1, but there is still more to play. It is a best of 5.
It is the best of 5 indeed, but first blow solidly straight to the nose of the Dudley boys, and they are going to definitely have to get some of the chairs out of the audience to strike back against the Falcons, because that was pretty decisive, wasn't it?
Very, very decisive, and it comes back to comfort picks of Team Falcons. I think that's the main focus we need to be putting here. Fishman coming also as well. He got a Clockwork. That's probably the hero that he has played the most when it comes to competitive gameplay. Even pubs as well. Whenever you watch pubs get into them or whatever, Fishman, he's on a Clockwork. He's destroying everybody. So this is them. Creep wave, right? Getting 3 of their favorite heroes, and Amar, Crit and Skidder, they just kind of went along with the ride. They assisted Creep Wave in winning game 1 here for Falcons.
I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it, to see those boys back together. And I do think that bringing in Fishman is clearly the best choice here. I think this looked like a very coherent team, actually.
Yep.
And yeah, over on the side of the Dudley boys, I'm especially sad that, you know, the MC Spirit Breaker has been defeated, so they gotta look for a new plan there. But also, Yuma absolutely did not get to make an appearance in this team at all. That Lifestealer pictures, there really was not it. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on several fronts.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about the Spirit Breaker in general, because right now, even if the game would be better for a Spirit Breaker, you might not feel confident picking it up, Kips. And it's a problem that one of your best heroes already has been just crossed out. So what do you think? Are we gonna be seeing a return of the MC Spirit Breaker in this series?
I think they would do it again. This is a best of 5. You have a little bit more leeway. You have a little bit more room to make mistakes or say, okay, we didn't implement it right. You could even leave it by the wayside for one game and then pick it up again later once you've, you know, found out where you want to put Yuma instead. There's a lot of options here that you wouldn't have in a best of 3 just because you have that one game more to play with. And I'm very curious to see how they're going to utilize that.
Well, we're gonna be finding out when after the break, so stay with us.
Oh, Esport. You and I have come a long way. It was such humble beginnings. As we gathered in small groups, we were professionals right from the start. Passionate, organized, and ready to rumble. We dreamed big, and surely enough, our parents supported us at every step of the way. Didn't they? Fired up by all this love, it wasn't long until we caught the scent of competition. To be honest with you, it wasn't always that easy. Joe here, he had to take on 2 side jobs to afford playing professionally. It's gonna get better, Joe. Fist bump. Some of you dared to not even call this a sport. And look where we are today. An endless stream of esports events every year. Bet you didn't see that coming, Mom and Dad. And you know what? We have been with you every single step of the way.
Dream of working with people you watch on screen. Exclusive esports opportunities handpicked just for you. Candidate profile to raise above competition. Let 10GG handle routines. Make a step towards your dream today.
Game 1 of the Grand Finals goes to Team Falcons after they have played a lot of their comfort heroes, but they have managed to beat a currently, or up until now, undefeated hero of the Dudley boys, and that was the Spirit Breaker. Mind Control didn't shine as what we usually expected from him, and we'll see if he's gonna be able to shine throughout the series with or without his best hero of the tournament. I'm Harry Freak, joining me is Kips, and you're watching the 25-year anniversary show here at Pinnacle. Kips, all of those questions that we just posed there to the viewers are gonna be answered throughout this final, but what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10? How much are the Dudley boys in trouble?
Ooh, with 10 being like code red releasing nuclear bombs, I'd say right now you're at about a threat level 7. This is pretty dire already, because you didn't just get schooled on a single hero, you got schooled on 2 at the same time, and you didn't really get to have a draft out where you could play your way out of things either. And the hero that I really want to look at there I want to point a finger square actually at the Clockwork pick for Falcons. I think that ruined so many of MC's fights, so many of Ads' opportunities as well. They got the lucky stroke of having a good setup because of that Clockwork for the Chain Frost a couple of times, but that's nothing compared to the amount of damage that the Clockwork and the threat of the Clockwork did to the entirety of the Dudley boys lineup in general. If they want to brawl again, if they want to go mano a mano with the Falcons, they cannot allow to play into that Clockwork again. It can't happen.
So, overall, okay.
Well,
no problem. Clockwork.
No, I thought.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They did leave the Chen in the pool. The thing is, with Fishman being there, do you want to pick it? He is a Chen player, though. You know, so he can do it.
Quite
but
prolific.
do you feel confident going for it?
So with the Chen, it's a little bit different than with something like a Clockwork, where you actually want to have practiced Chen with the lineup usually, and you can do it. Yeah, they're just gonna go for it, especially because they have a little bit of leeway. They won the first map. Chen's really flippin' strong right now, and you're looking to quell early aggression from the Dudley boys, you're looking at a Spirit Breaker who's going to globally attack people, you're going to have your global heal, it feels good. But sometimes Chen lineups in like a roster of players where you haven't played together all that often, they might get a little wonky on what you're supposed to do on the map sometimes. So we'll have to see, but that didn't look very hesitant now, did it?
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
Definitely not. They maybe thought about it for 5 seconds. Shadow Demon, do they get rid of the clock?
I think you should.
I think you should as well. That doesn't mean they will. That's that's a completely different approach. No, coming back
I
to
can
the
only pray.
1 to 10, how screwed they are. I actually have a better way to measure it. So I don't know why I'm even asking, but have you watched One Punch Man?
I have not.
Oh, okay, you have to anyways, but
Okay.
doesn't matter. In One Punch Man, there are threat levels. Wolf, Tiger,
Yes.
Demon, Dragon, and God, right? So I'd say we're about at the Dragon level threat, maybe lower-ish Dragon for the Dudley boys.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't get to God level. And in that regard, hopefully they do get to God level in terms of their gameplay, because then Falcons are gonna be in some threat. Though overall, Falcons getting the Chen, it gives me a lot of confidence going their way.
Yeah, it really does. They already had no trouble taking down all of the outer towers in the previous game, and now that pressure is going to be actively applied by Fishman. And the amount of auras that he's going to bring in, if the Dudley boys stick to their approach of we want to burst your team, a lot of that is pick-off oriented, right? You take down one and then you take down the guy that was supposed to guard him, and then you see if you can get out before the backup comes in, that sort of thing. It's going to get lengthened with the Chen. He's going to have more information because of his creeps. The Hand of God is going to get in, and then of course the problem is that Falcons are just literally going to be grouped in bigger groups more often because it feels good to be around a Chen and be taking objectives together.
I guess Dudley boys feel better playing versus a Chen as a Spirit Breaker than versus a Clockwork, and I doubt Crit is gonna be playing a Clockwork. If I remember correctly, he hasn't played one in this tournament, so it does save you a ban.
I guess that's what they're counting on here, yeah.
Yep.
But Chen Clockwork is a very nice combination to play. Like, as a clock, you get to build
Not
really
bad.
aggressively and play really aggressively. And it's not like Crit doesn't know how to play a Clockwork, that's for sure.
One thing is for sure.
The tempo!
Yep, and
Tempo,
a hero
Harry.
that and the hero that stops the charge in lane. That's one thing that we did see it in the lane, but we didn't put that much emphasis on it. But this allows the Chen to isolate the enemy support on the side there, have a creep of his own, and actually win that battle without being afraid of the Spirit Breaker coming over. As Luna's Lucent Beam is a pretty decently ranged spell, so it's very hard for the Spirit Breaker to actually get out with the charge or towards the Chen without the Luna stopping that.
Yeah, that we saw that interruption, I think, at least twice, which is a lot. You only get so many charges during the laning stage. So you can really see why Luna will go back for the Falcons here. And then, of course, yeah, I was talking about the tempo, but Chen Luna, that goes fast. Your towers disappear so fast, and the Luna, especially with that heal and with the auras at her back, feels so good fighting early here. You don't necessarily have to wait for your BKB just to get your hands on some enemies.
And it also feels cool attacking the penitence target, right? Because you're gonna be attacking so fast, and the glaze are just gonna be flying out. It's kind of insane, but overall, it's looking like a good opening for Falcons. Dudley boys, they get themselves a Wraith King, so they have played an offlane Wraith King in this tournament. I can't remember if they played a carry Wraith King, however. So was this a bait? Are we maybe gonna see a support Spirit Breaker?
Yeah, I guess that is a decent flip of the script, although it is a little early to be giving that away, right? You could also be... That feels silly. Support Wraith King is not really a thing right now, but... You know, I thought support Centaur wasn't a thing, and 9 class had no problems with that. I don't think it's a lane though, Spirit Breaker Wraith the King? Hello.
Hello. Though Marcy can't really speak, but at least she's gonna be whistling for us. Overall, though, they have played a carry Wraith King, Dudley boys. They actually played it in the upper bracket finals, and it was a pretty easy match for them. If you remember, it was versus the Magnus PA. Oh, it wasn't really that easy, to be honest. 55-minute game.
That's why I don't really remember, because it felt like Allnet trying to get the game back for about 50 minutes.
So it is something that they can do. Falcons, however, they're going to get another Timber Saw. I think now we definitely know that Malrine is the best Timber Saw in this team, which is a big title to have, as Amar is one of your teammates. So what do you reckon? A Timber Saw mid lane, Timber Saw off lane? I really don't care here, because again, you're dealing with 3 strength heroes, and I'm very surprised. Melee as well. I'm very surprised that the Dudley boys made the same drafting error as the last time. Okay, this helps.
Yeah. I was about to say that on the mid lane, if you do that, you're for certainly going to go up against Alina. And like in general here, I think it's going to be decently hard for Falcons to pick anything up that's going to have a good time against it. What we've seen is Kotl can do well. And we have also seen, was it a Kunkka surviving the lane? What Kunkka is, it was, or was it a DK?
Kunkka, and both Kunkka and
yeah.
the Dragonite can do okay-ish versus the Alina. Also, one correction, Marcy is no longer a strength hero. She has lost her strength and now is universal. Makes sense, right? She's somewhere between a strength and agility hero. Jumps in, smashes you. She can dodge things quite nicely, you know, so it makes sense.
Yeah, universals don't get hit by Timber Saw as hard as they used to. That said, he's still pretty nice versus universal, let's face it.
Pretty solid, pretty solid. Alina versus a Lion. So this Lion, once he gets the blink, he's definitely has a hero that he's gonna be hunting. But overall, I like the Lina here. She likes to keep her distance, and Falcons, on the other hand, they like to just stand their ground at a tower. Sure, we saw Malrine diving with the Timber Saw, but this lineup is a little bit different, despite having some of the same heroes.
Yeah, and especially with the Timber Saw, it's a lot of difference if there's like stuns waiting for you, right? Alina, if you don't stun her, is most certainly going to DPS you down before you get her. That is almost an inevitability. So the Timber Saw actually has to be pretty careful with if he goes solo or not. He's going to need the Lion with him, he's going to need somebody else with him, and presumably we're going to be seeing an Amar hero with some form of disable or some form of jump to go with him. That said, the offlaners are pretty darn thin on the ground at this point in time.
Yeah, you see any of them? For that reason, I think it might be Amar on the Timber Saw. Right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna lane too bad versus the Wraith King, versus the Mars
not.
either. So I'm pretty sure that it is gonna be Malrine's hero, especially because he understands the Lina inside and out. So I'm guessing he's gonna have somewhat of a response versus it. And you're seeing Dudley boys, they're banning out the Pug, banning out the Dragonite, so they probably feel the same.
Yeah. Hedging their butts there just a little bit. And
what's the support here though?
Yeah, no, Grimstroke is actually not open for the time being.
No.
Their Dark Willow has been popular, pretty decent versus the Timber.
I'd like a Dark Willow. It actually helps with so many units, right? Because the Bramble Maze is nice at area control. It definitely can slow the enemies down. And another form of lockdown, save for the Lina if she does get jumped. So I wouldn't mind the Dark Willow actually. And there is a chance that Falcons get something a little bit mobile on the mid. Having another stun, it most definitely helps.
Yeah, and bringing in more magic damage. I'm looking for a combination with the Spirit Breaker, right? I want to see something to actually empower
Okay, so support Spirit Breaker, support Marcy, offlane Wraith King. That is my call. I don't know if you agree, but I just don't want to see a support Wraith King.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you here. And I guess the goal here is to make sure that you punish that Timber Saw pick, right? Is literally either you get a Lina or you get an SF, you are screwed. Good luck, sir. but by picking an SF here, yeah, you're making a really big sacrifice, and Falcons are flipping the script here. Look at Malrine on the Tusk.
Yep.
That is going
I
to
love
be
it.
fast. Oh, that's good.
I love it. I love it. I was thinking about it. Like, does he want it? Because you're versus Alina and then SF, which are the heroes that just he destroys, right?
Yes.
And it is these heroes that hate getting close to somebody else. He literally does amazing versus them. So I think this is a perfect one. But it's nowhere near gonna be as easy game as the previous one.
At the very least, not at the start, right? The Timbersaw is going to have a hard lane. That is going to happen. And you're going to most likely see a lot of farm on MC as well. On that Wraith King, I think he will have a pretty nice lane too. The mid lane for the Lina is going to be rough, especially if the enemy supports dare to come in and rotate. She could die very, very early on if Malrine wants to. And that is the kind of, well, you can just keep on hating in the Lina this game, I think. And then once the SF gets involved, you can do that to him too. It's very hard, especially with the lineup that you have, to keep Malrine off of either of your cores. You don't have any saves, all you have is a charge through.
Overall, though, I'm loving this Falcons lineup. I think, again, the same problem remains for the Dudley boys, is that you are dealing with a lot of signature heroes on the side of Team Falcons. And no matter what kind of situation you put them in, they're going to be able to find something to deal with it. But we saw why people are afraid of the Malrine Timbersaw. We might see why they're afraid of his Tusk. But let's get into the game to see if he's going to be able to have just as much impact.
On one hand, I'm hoping for it. On the other hand, you know, we are gunning for a full best of 5 here, right? Suppose?
Yeah, we are. Oh, Fishman. He's getting stunned up on the snowball save, and Yuma is gonna take so much damage because all of them are in it. Malrine gets the first blood, and is the worst way to start it. Alina running away, understanding that in the mid lane is not gonna be easy, and there might be a double kill for him. Amar says, no, I'm getting one of it.
Honestly, this goes back to the age-old, please don't fight level 1 into Tusk. Don't do it, he wins. And I gotta say that I've never seen a Tusk win it quite this hard.
Yeah, this is not great.
Yeah, you should be sorry, Malrine. That's just uncivilized is what that is.
That's not
The
fair.
battle begins.
He knows. He's feeling so good about himself right now, and
Mind
he should
control?
have not another kill.
He doesn't have a fairy fire, he doesn't have sticks, just one more hit is needed. Mind control, though, he knows all of the little trees and will be going through them to survive, barely, however.
He's been speaking for the trees for so long that he knows them all by first name, I think.
Yep. It is. Do you think trees have names? Do you name trees, let's say, in your garden?
In my garden, I wish I had a garden. I mean, I
your-
guess if I, like, I'm a millennial man. If I had a garden, I would name my trees.
Okay, cool. I actually have a Christmas tree that me and my girlfriend named. We planted it in the garden of my parents. It's still there. It barely survived as my father wasn't watering it in the beginning, but it did survive in the end. Fishman TP out. He'll be getting himself out of that one. That was dangerous, but using their stuns way too early, it's a problem.
It is, yeah. You didn't give the name of your tree, though. This is important now, sorry.
It won't mean anything to you. It's in Serbian. Spomenka. Spomen means that you are remembering something or whatever. Let's put it that way. It's kind of hard to explain, right?
Remembrance. Sure.
Yeah.
As,
Let's put it that way.
That's a pretty name. As these lanes look, I gotta say, really rough now. At the very least, Alina's still on the top of the board right now, but SF being solo versus an aggressive lane against him, and only having a melee hero with him to defend him, like really all that you can do if you are Hakoda here is just throw yourself in front of Yuma whenever it's necessary, and that's sort of it. That's the trick. He's going to suffer in this lane. maybe the SF gets to do good if they manage to just get a ton of harass over into the Timbersaw, but I think I already saw that they're trying to move the lane into weird places so that Yuma doesn't get that comfort.
Understandably. And Spirit Breaker has some lockdown, but it's not really the type of hero that the SF loves laning with, right? It's gonna secure that you get double or triple raise on the Timbersaw. That's gonna be pretty hard to do in MR. He is probably aware of SF lanes, even though he might not have played them recently. It is still a hero that in the past has been picked up quite a lot versus Timbersaw. And you know, they're threatening with the raises, didn't go for it on crit. Now crit is only gonna be taking the one who cares.
And that leaves us with the mid lane here, where Ads is already... he is roughly equal with Malrine right now, but you can already see that Malrine is really going to be focusing on the denies in this lane, and if he controls the wave well, he's going to get a ton more.
That's mine.
You understand what the approach is here for him. Sometimes Malrine is the only Tusk in the mid lane that swaps his build really often, in terms of, am I going for a max out on my tag team, am I going for a max out on the other two spells? A lot of the mid laners, their set of what's popular in the meta, well, for him we can't really say, because nothing is popular in the meta for a Tusk, for a mid lane Tusk at least.
Yeah, and we have gone purely shard snowball here, so he is especially ready to clear this wave whenever the Lina pushes it in versus him. It means it's gonna be, well, not even that hard to kill her, honestly. It's just a little less... you're going to take a little longer is all.
Yuma isn't. But there is one that is. Yeah, definitely is. Lina now has the raindrops, but didn't get her bottle refilled. Maybe the Spirit Breaker TPs to the mid lane, though the SF needs help as well. Who is more important, Gibbs? It seems to be Yuma.
It's the SF. And it's like, you can see how well this lane has been managed by Falcons by the fact that Yuma's mana pool is entirely full. Like, if he gets anything to do here, you'll see him raising, but he just hasn't had the opportunity for raises.
That TP to save the SF, it meant that Lina had to walk to the base, and that means both of the water runes for Malrine. So despite you going to the base, coming back to the lane, you're still gonna be on equal ground with the enemy mid laner. You're both gonna be full in both HP and mana.
That's disastrous. And here, like, these plays with the Spirit Breaker, if you have any kind of carry that can take hits at all, hey, Skitter dies.
9 class, pretty tanky. No sticks. Are those hits gonna be enough? And Mind Control, he's gonna have a stun fairly soon. Decides not to pursue here as Fishman uses the healing salve. He's trying to bait. His creeps are dying. Does get the mud golem split into 2, so those hurl boulders can continue hurting his enemies.
Yeah, and MC now just about stepping over Skitter in terms of the CS. We haven't really looked at that lane too much, but it's looking like at the very least they're going to do all right up there, which is going to give them some natural pressure and something for the supports to rotate towards, as Yuma, no options.
Is now running away around the tower. The TP from Marcy. Amar will try to run away. There will be the middle raise. Doesn't connect on him. And turn around from Amar. He finds the opening. These two supports, they're not going to be able to do enough damage with the help of the tower. Maybe it will be enough. As Akoda turns his sights onto crit. He might be in some trouble. Standing his ground, but actually it would help me here, Akoda. You might get the kill, but there is a good chance that you're going to follow in the footsteps of your teammates. And you know what? The Tanting died in the mid lane as well. Amar gets a triple kill. Falcons are crushing the Dudley boys.
Oh, the fact that you lose Malrine, I imagine that is just literally the Tusk hitting 6, blowing her up. There's nothing you can do.
Yep.
Both your supports occupied on the bot side, and we saw there why I was still like, yeah, it's still a universal hero though, because Marcy too loses so much HP.
Okay, he is fine. He survives. They're coming over. Dudley boys understand how important this is.
Yeah, but you can't keep on doing that. You can't just keep on reacting to Falcons and always running with your supports from one lane to the next in hopes that you're intercepting their next move, because you're already late. You are.
You're late to the top lane as well. Your king has fallen now. Mind Control. His laning phase was going decently well Well, now Malrine is going to be rotating. We saw this already in the previous game. Also, looking to steal the Wisdom Rune. And this time around, Dudley boys, they don't seem to be in place to do it as well. 9 class, he might just be another casualty. There's the Hex. They have a Snowball as well. He is looking very much dead. The Wisdom Rune will be picked up, both of them, by Falcons. 1 to Amar, 1 to Crit. And Mind Control might be in trouble here as well if Falcons want to continue.
Tower is under attack.
They could, but no. Malrine instead takes that children home for now. And this is why I was loving. It's not just like Malrine on the Tusk, right? It is that they see this lineup of the Dudley boys and they're like, okay, we have been playing the higher econ lineup the entire time. And they dive so far under the line of the Dudley boys. It's like, hey, we have a Tusk. We can make plays starting at literally his level 3 if we would really want to. Of course, you wait until the 6, but he's a mid laner. He's going to be so early. And the Dudley boys, they can bring their cores together. It's just the supports trying in vain to plug all the holes in their draft, as all of their cores need items, not just to play, but in order to live. And, well, I guess this is the first time that we actually see the Dudley boys get something of their own that was not forced out.
Yep.
And this second move also needs to work out.
It really needs to work out. Skidder, this is the type of thing that you should be able to read right now. He doesn't seem to be reading it, however. And if he shows on that mid lane tower, okay, on that top lane tower, he's dead anyway.
Yeah, he's dead.
Now, actually, charged
It's
up.
gonna take a while.
Maybe he runs himself out. Lina coming over.
Suppose?
And
No.
Misses on the stun. Atlantic wasn't in position. And now it means that you're going to be losing 9 class. He's too deep. The TP is in from Falcons. The chase, it doesn't have to stop. Because Marine is coming over as well. Beautiful shards. Could just stop this. And here comes the snowball. Onto the all of them.
Second
Lina, she
stun.
definitely hates the cold. But she hates being punched in the face. Even more while mind control. You don't want to skill up your ulti. Just accept the death for the second time in this game. Amar gets a triple kill.
Yikes. That's what I have to say about that. That's 2 missed stuns from ads. That is, they really just had to go too deep for that kill.
And even missing the LSA. Even if you connect on that LSA, I'm not sure it's a kill.
No, I'm not sure either. They already needed to go way too far, as yeah, but we don't. That's gonna happen.
It is.
But the second one here, like, he has to choose between 2 bad options, right? Either you stop Amar on that high ground, or you wait until the snowball lands and you stop those people. But no matter what you do, the other side is going to be on you. And you miss it, it's both.
It seems like the Dudley boys have made Falcons mad by winning, and that in an upper bracket semi-final, nice stop on the charge. Still gonna get bashed. The Skidder is there, and with the glaze bouncing, you don't want to be fighting this. There is an ulti now on MC plus 21 charges, so he can continue standing his ground. But overall, Falcons, they force out some rotations once again.
And every time you force out those rotations, you're going to get further and further ahead. And the only thing that I think, and this feels pretty bad to say at literally 10 minutes into the game, but I think that the Dudley boys should be honestly thankful that they haven't lost the tower yet.
Yep.
Because that would right now cost their cores even more. At least all 3 of them are on 3 different lanes now and can be, though that's going to be taken away very soon on the mid lane.
And that's probably the most important one. With the way that Team Falcons want to play this game, they want to open up the mid lane so that they have more options in terms of going towards you. And look at the TP on the top lane. Immediately they're defending. We can take towers, but you cannot jump out from 9 class. You can't do it. He actually went forward to just keep the enemies at bay. The shards will not connect. Marine comes forward. They have the follow-up stuns. They're gonna destroy Muma. He's threatening with the Requiem. He has a lot of souls to release. There's gonna be a Hex on the Raid King. The ulti as well. Hand of God, keeping him alive. Amar going forward the side. It might not be the best move. Marine, he still has the snowball, and there's the Atlantic with the boots of travel. Marine taking a lot of damage. The LSA will connect. That should be a dead Tusk. And finally the Dragon Slave just barely connected him, but enough to get the kill. And that's way too deep, Hakoda. You didn't have any friends to assist you. Mind control, he is without his ulti, and he's gonna be without his second life as well. Look at the attack speed of Skidder. Penitence plus Mask of Madness. Too much.
Yep, and a demonstration here at the end of the fight is that as much as Dudley boyz has the ability to make plays, because they have some displacement, right? They have that charge, they have burst damage in order to take out a hero of Falcons. The Falcons have much more sustained damage. They have the spam spells from that Timber Saw. They have the presence of that Chen in the back. They've got the Luna. When the fights go long, the Dudley boyz have to bail. They cannot take any continued fights. Even if they're technically up in heroes, I don't think they can do it.
Yep, you would have to kill both the Tusk and the Timber Saw, I think, to do so.
Yeah.
Then you can continue the chase. But with one of those two heroes alive, if they have enough mana in their pool to fight, they are over time gonna be winning.
Absolutely agreed. Those are... You can't learn that lesson many more times. Luna is insanely far. I mean, this Timber Saw is thick as a brick. Already got Yule's very phenomenal versus... I mean, the Spirit Breaker is going to hate it the most, but you also can definitely dodge Lina spells with that. You can dodge SF things with that. And as long as your team has that steady damage presence, you're not even setting yourself up for retaliation necessarily. Blink on Malrine. Smoke purchased. We're gonna see more action. Falcons is pushing the pedal to the metal.
Mind Control is approaching the Midas. The problem is that Fishman is approaching Mind Control in terms of net worth, and yeah, it is what it is. Gives Midas might help him with that, but a couple of more deaths and a couple of more towers, and I don't think there's gonna be enough Midases in the world to help you.
I don't think so either, and the biggest problem there is the fact that you're up versus Chen Luna, right? It's if you're up versus a lineup that, you know, they're killing you, they're team fighting better than you, but they're not taking your towers all that fast, you're going to naturally get some time in the game. In here, the only reason that you still have towers is because Falcons didn't really put in the effort to get them yet. That's it. It was not a good enough trade-off for them.
Mind Control? Oh, he smelt them. Smelt them.
Oh.
Okay, no, not enough. Not enough. It seems that the nose of a skeleton doesn't work all that well.
Yeah, maybe he's got COVID.
Yeah, maybe, but Amar, he gets the kill. Mind Control will be dying. That was just 5 seconds before he got his ulti, so perfect timing from Team Falcons.
Absolutely, and now, yeah, Malrine's still in vision, so I don't think they're actually going to dive the tower, but they don't need to. Like, Malrine could just be all the way forward there, and most likely he knows that the Dudley boyz are never going to come for him, because the other cores are still trying to get their items up.
Amar, he gets the Aegis, picks it up. He wants to be the one in front. I'm guessing if Malrine was in the vicinity, he'd be picking it up, but it is gonna be the Timber Saw for now. Malrine has a blink and bots, so the mobility of this Tusk and his ability to be everywhere, it's just insane.
It is, yeah, and those bots are going to help you so much in mirroring the Lina. She is going to show up and kill waves, and count on you not being to be there at the same time as she is. Well, guess what? You can just match that.
Mar is beyond godlike, Kips. It's 15 minutes into the game. I think he heard me when I said Malrine is a better Timber Saw and took it personally. So he's gonna be showing off here as well.
I would. Why would you want your teammates to be better than you?
I mean, we all know who are fighting the most. It's your teammates, right, Kips? Sure, you might have a choose when you're playing competitive games, but it's all about being better than your teammates. If you win a game with maybe losing only 1 or 2 heroes, you're laughing at the guy who died, right? That's what you do.
Exactly. Like, it's the opponent's job to die. That's fine.
Yep.
They can die however much they want. Your teammate?
Nice charge. That's a beautiful charge from Dakota, but the Eclipse will be used. And with that Eclipse, so many people will be going low. Nobody dying, however. Fishman with a Hand of God. It's trying to heal him. A couple of more hits. He turns around. Mind Control in the end. Will get the kill. Meanwhile, Skitter pops the Mask of Madness. Mind Control. He is caught as Amar. He is continuing to be beyond God. Like both of the supports have been slaughtered. Mind Control coming back to the world of the living as Yuma is being charged up. We don't care about your support rating. Oh, right. He's a core, but his net worth is definitely not showing it as Amar is bringing down the SF. Mind Control will live. He will be allowed to live by Team Falcons, who once again completely overwhelmed the fight.
Yep, that was an Aegis fight, but you can see that they're not even really trying to take that Aegis down. They're just trying to get as many heroes killed in hopes of slowing down the incoming push of Falcons. And I guess they did. Falcons spent some resources, but they're still on your bot tower currently.
They are. And Melrine is working towards an Aghanim Scepter. There's gonna be a lot of kicking here, a lot of screaming as well from the Dudley boys. So talk to me about this game, Kips. We saw game 1, Team Falcons completely overwhelm the Dudley boys. Here, the same is happening.
Yes.
Which game is worse, right?
Which game is worse? Oof. I kind of want to say that this game is gonna be worse in the sense of that it's going to end earlier because of the pushing power of Falcons and because of their the fact that this SF is going to do even less than the Lifestealer did in the previous game, and that feels really harsh to say, but I think it's the truth. All you have to offer to these fights is your ult, and after that you're a goner. If you're ever close enough to hit anybody, the Dusk's gonna get you, man.
Is there comeback potential? That's the main question here. Because in the previous game, it looked like there was no.
They have burst damage. That is the thing that they've got up over their previous lineup. They have a little bit of playmaking potential from the Marcy and the SB, and they've got the burst damage to follow up on that. So if Falcons just completely forget how to play Dota 2, split up, show on several lanes at the same time, ditch a couple of their cores right in front of the enemy base, then you can definitely kill them, which is something that I don't actually think was going to happen in the previous game unless Azantic got one hell of a fight off. So,
Okay, a bit of a tougher question now then. So how do the Dudley boys play Dota to give themselves the most chances in a sense of getting or forcing, or at least putting Falcons in a position where they can make a mistake?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You could be, for example, baiting out the targets that Falcons would really want. Like the SF would be the clearest bait to me, because if you live and you pop your ult while several heroes are on top of you, you actually get a really good fight out of that. That is a possibility. Alternatively, you could throw a couple of heroes down the side lanes and buy time. Man!
Okay, I'm sorry.
You didn't have to do them like that!
It was literally a solo kill from Fishman, right? A Penitence and his army, in the end, the Lion came in to finish him off, sure. But if it was a 1 versus 1, Fishman wins.
Yeah, you're completely right. I think that was just sort of for the contrast. Like, hey, your Laguna Blade did nothing, now watch this.
Yeah, this is how you do it with just one finger. You know, it does look like a Dragon Ball fight when you know that you're gonna lose. You're like, oh, Kamehameha, and doesn't do anything, and the opponent then he just destroys you with one finger. It happens.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened right there. And I also think that what we just saw was MC. He'd been slowly scraping his way towards buying a Radiance. I think he just gave up on that and bought a Blade Mill.
Makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
We talked about Fishman being ahead of him. Now with this shard being acquired from the Tormentor, he is gonna be ahead of the Wraith King, and there are gonna be some Ancients ready for battle, Kips, as the win probability of the Dudley boys are at 4%. Very rough game for them.
Rough indeed. Well, you have BKB on the SF, so hopefully he's going to be allowed to stand his ground just a little bit. Even as I say that, of course, the Luna is having a far better game than Luna is going to be supplying that physical damage. You don't have to be that scared of the SF turning around on you.
Skitter got the shard, and the thing is, he just wanted to buy it, so that's gonna be 1400 gold saved for the Luna. Dudley boys are going for a smoke. Even though they haven't lost 2 of their tier 2s, I wouldn't be mad if they lose this fight and just GG out. And
Not
they're getting
really,
into a
no.
bait. They're going into a bait. There's the snowball save. They knew that this was coming. Hakoda is just gonna get obliterated by Malrine, and you have to run. It's the only thing you can do. 9 class will be staying behind. Actually, no, he's bringing Malrine into a fight. He did kick him away, but dies in the
everything.
process. Well, yep, that's everything. What do you do now? Xantic, he doesn't have the BKB. Yuma already used his. Maybe thinking about TPing out. He is doing absolutely no damage to Amar, and now the finger, everything over the BKB. We do not care about your debuff immunity. You're not immune to being demolished, and Mind Control will enjoy the wins. He would like for them to bring up on some change, but it's just bringing in more death and destruction in favor of Falcons.
Yep, and this... Yeah. You know, you said before the fight, hey, you can call it if this one doesn't go well. Well, this is about as big of a disaster as you can get. You have the burst damage, you are going to get Malrine here because there's literally no other space for him to move through. But at that point, you have nothing more to give either. It's just adds damage. Yuma only pops his BKB by the time it's ready to run away. He doesn't deal any damage to Omar whatsoever. He doesn't get to leverage himself in this fight at all, and it's just over.
It's over. The only reason why you're getting in that one kill is because Malrine doesn't have a BKB. He decided that the Aghanim Scepter was better or more fun to play with, and he kicked away 9 class. It was a pretty cool, you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match. Like, you throw him on one side, you throw your opponent on the other, and it was pretty cool. But in the end, both of the guys there, just wrestling, did go down.
And that leaves you, well, at the least there wasn't any follow-up just because Crit wasn't in the vicinity, but next time he's going to be there.
Yeah,
And I'm looking at the item progression, like the Lina finally has her Aghanim Scepter, so she has some ways to work her way around the fight. The problem here is, of course, that a lot of times these Linas rely on the trees to do cover for them, as well as possible high grounds. And especially the trees are not going to be cover for you. Amar is just going to be cutting him down. But with the Blink Dagger, this Tusk can follow you anywhere anyway. As soon as you revealed yourself by popping your spells, he's going to beeline for you.
Do they have to fight this, Roche? Do they even get there in time? I'm not sure. The scan was used, they know it's happening. Hakoda TPing away, and the Yules was already used by Amar to get into that position. So you cannot defend the Roche. This is gonna be Aegis cheese for Team Falcons, and most likely the Aegis cheese which you knock on the enemy high ground.
Yep. No, you are not in position on a bot lane, your bot creep wave. You can't get heroes out of the base to push that out, because you need more information. If they're not in the pit, you get demolished there. If you show up in force, Falcons runs out of the pit and demolishes you. And for the same reason, even though you have the top wave pushed out, you can't actually go through the twin gates, because we've all seen what happens when you go blind through the twin gates. We've had some good demonstrations of why you should not do that in this particular tournament.
Yep. So there was a disconnect, but immediate reconnect. Yesterday we had a little bit of an unfortunate event in our lower bracket finals where Team Falcons, they crushed game 1 and then game 2. A player from Team Pickles could not reconnect back to the game. Not sure what exactly the problem was, but either way it wasn't the best way to get into the grand finals, though. I think Falcons with their performance here are definitely showing that they deserve to be here.
Crit's just in.
Gets found, gets kicked away, no charge back for you, and Malrine is just a genius who pulls Crit out of the base as well. Jump in! They want to fight the buyback from the Spirit Breaker. They will be coming in. Hand of God keeping everybody alive. They have that fight as well. Nobody's taking any damage. Okay, they do bring down Fishman, but look at the positioning of Yuma. They try to force him away. The stun will keep him in place as he tries to release the Requiem, but the souls will come out only because of his death.
And Alina's mana pool, yeah, she needs to dip back into the fountain right now. Use that glyph, and maybe you get to put out another bit of threat, but that is gonna cost you your tower, and his glaives will start flying.
Kickback, it's gonna cost your mind control. He has 2 lives, but one of them taken easily, and Malrine has 2 more stuns to play with. Stun onto the side. He doesn't even use his uppercut. He's gonna be using it now on the cow. Hakoda has absolutely no chances of living through it. And that 69 seconds on the sidelines. Kick the baby, as they would say in South Park, and Xantic gets taken down as well. So it just looks hella easy for them. You might not have taken tier 2s on the other lanes, but you can go for the throne if you want to. The question is, do they? Nope. It seems to be discipline time.
Discipline time. It's almost boring at this point, right? You far beyond the 1k gold league per minute, which is the official scientific name for that is a stomp, I do believe. And well, you know what? Here, you make them think that you're being disciplined when actually you're just waiting for the opportunity to delete some more of their sports.
Skitter is looking at this like, what's happening? Thing is, you're outnumbered. You have 3 Creek Wave players, and there's only one of you from Tundra, right? So it is a problem. The everything has shifted. Yuma now is gonna be going down this time around. No Death Requiem once again. Nice double stun from Lina. The LSA does connect. Nobody cares. Hakoda decides it is time to end it. Xantic also gets kicked back. It just seems like a complete dismantlement of the Dudley boys. They stood no chance in either of those 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get tired of saying back to the drawing board, but at this point, scrap the drawing board and really build a new drawing board as well, because there's really nothing left of the Dudley boys now. They tried to flex that Spirit Breaker pick, but they kind of gave it away immediately with their next pick, which made it pretty decently possible for Falcons to anticipate that this was most likely going to be a support and they couldn't overreact to it. And the rest of the drafts in there, especially once again the pick for Yuma, is really not feel like they're enabling him to have any impact in the game at all. It really stands or falls with the laning stage. His laning stage is hard, he gets demolished, and Dudley boys have been playing with 4 all this time. It's starting to feel like they're not giving themselves the best chance here, as much, of course, as it's also Falcons saying like, hey, you're not picking well enough, thanks, we'll take that.
This is what I was afraid of when the Spirit Breaker was beaten. In a best of 5 series, if you are allowed in the first game your best hero, and not only did you lose, but you didn't even have a chance to win, it really does put you on the back foot psychologically, especially. Yes. Is when you are afraid to play it and you don't have anything to fall back on. Plus, your enemies are not using the bans for that hero, so a lot of the other things are closed. So what now, Kips? Now I think this is a god level threat, and you need to make sure that it doesn't go that way. But last time we did see them have a reverse sweep. What are the chances of that happening right now?
Very slim. I think especially with Fishman on the board instead of snaking the extra. You know how we saw Falcons overplay a couple of times in the matches that we saw yesterday, where they're solidly in the lead and then they're going to a little bit too deep. I think that with Fishman now in the mix, it's not that he's, you know, they're listening to Fishman, but they wouldn't be listening to snaking or something like that. No, Fishman knows that this is coming, and he's playing the kind of heroes that back that style up way more. And I think that means that it's that much harder for the Dudley boys to actually fight back against these dives, because they are supported way more right now. Fishman knows what to expect from his boys. So this is looking rough. I'd give him like a 1 out of 10 chance to come back in this series, but never say never.
Okay, so our dreams of seeing a full best of 5 are not yet crushed, but they're very close to. Fishman's dreams, however, he's being praised live on stream that he is replacing a TI winner and still doing a phenomenal job, maybe even being a better matchup here for, or a worse matchup for Dudley boys, to put it frankly. But either way, we are in a position where we might only be 1 game away from finishing the 25-year anniversary show. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but let's see if Dudley boys have a response, but only after the break.
esport. You and I have come a long way. It was such humble beginnings. As we gathered in small groups, we were professionals right from the start. Passionate, organized, and ready to rumble. We dreamed big, and surely enough, our parents supported us at every step of the way. Didn't they? Fired up by all this love, it wasn't long until we caught the scent of competition. To be honest with you, it wasn't always that easy. Joe here, he had to take on 2 side jobs to afford playing professionally. It's gonna get better, Joe. Fist bump. Some of you dared to not even call this a sport. And look where we are today. An endless stream of esports events every year. Bet you didn't see that coming, Mom and Dad. And you know what? We have been with you every single step of the way.
Dream of working with people you watch on screen. Exclusive esports opportunities handpicked just for you. Candidate profile to raise above competition. Let 10GG handle routines. Make a step towards your dream today.
If you came here for a full best of 5, you might be at the wrong spot, because it's currently 2-0 for Team Falcons, who have crushed the Dudley boys 2 games in a row. I'm Harry Freak, joining me in Skips, and we are celebrating 25 years of Pinnacle here at the anniversary show. Hopefully, we're gonna be celebrating at least 4 games of the grand finals, because we have had some Pinnacle tournament grand finals be pretty easy for some teams this year. Kips, I don't really want to end it this way, but Falcons aren't really giving much of a chance to the Dudley boys.
No, they aren't, and really, that is their good right. If they are, pissed off that they got put away after opening their previous series versus Dudley boys, so well, if they want to take their revenge here, show people that they're not to be trifled with, then this is exactly the way to do it, because my god, Dudley boys have not gotten, I want to say, a single word to say today, and I'm just, if this is gonna be an 0-3, like, let it at least be one where we have to see Falcons flex all of their muscles, where the Dudley boys are actually standing up and providing a suitable opponent, because in some ways a team's not really showing you how dominant they are unless you see how far they can be pushed and still win, right? And give me some of that at least.
Okay, so Kips, we have had some of our Pinnacle tournaments this year be single elimination, maybe throughout the whole tournament, sometimes just in the playoffs. But how do you feel about that one? If this was a single elimination tournament, Falcons wouldn't be in the grand finals, so the Dudley boys would definitely have a better shot at winning this grand final, whoever would be their opponent. But overall, what are you a bigger fan of? Better chances for the underdogs, or the best team winning?
The best team winning, definitely. I think that Dota 2 is already a game that has a lot of chance and potential for upset, just because knowledge matters a lot. If a team has like an unexpected pick or an unexpected style of playing, then it is, I don't want to say easy, but it is definitely possible to leverage that past a bunch of teams that would normally be way better than you. And with better, I do mean better able to adapt to you, better able to take the information that they have and turn it into wins. It's just that they didn't have the information yet. And that, plus the fact that there's style matchups where, sometimes a team will just get eliminated because of region matchups, I do think that this is the fair way to go. And I think this is a perfect demonstration, in fact, of why double elimination brackets are superior.
Do you think that maybe one day we are going to be seeing double elimination in conventional sports, right? And some World Cups, football, basketball, something along those lines?
I think there's a lot less variables in that. Like, it's not like, you know, LeBron James is going to come onto the pitch with a pair of shoes that give him plus 30% jumping power today. Like, that's not going to happen. There's not a whole, you know, chess game beforehand where the rules for the game that we're going to play afterwards are going to be determined. The rules are set. So, no, I think that is something that's specific to even just a specific subset of esports. I don't think it's all that necessary for something like CSGO, for example.
Okay. We'll see in the future if something changes. I guess it also has something to do with the fact that those people need to run, and then they would need to run 10 times more if it was double elimination as well, because you'd have a lot more opponents to face. But we're not going to be talking about conventional sports. Who cares about conventional sports? But if you do, you can also go to pinnacle.gg/odds and get yourself invested in that. But of course, you can put your bets on this map here, and of course on some of the other esports that we have. 25 years of Pinnacle, 13 years in esports, and the Dudley boys, they are gonna go for the Mars. So this was their approach. This is what they have drawn on their drawing board. Kips, do you like it?
I do, yeah. We were talking in between maps, literally like, okay, MC needs something different. We were brainstorming, like, are they going to go back for the Lone Druid, which Dudley boys have played a couple of times, but that didn't really feel like it had enough playmaking capability. And like, is it going to be a Tide Hunter? Yeah, it's good, but passive. They're never going to get their hands on the Centaur. Falcons has been banning it every single time, so what do? Well, you don't ban one of the MR heroes. You take the ridiculous win rate and enormous pressure of that Chen off your hands again, and you take the Mars yourself. And that is probably the best possible solution to at least that particular problem that I can think of. So, yeah, good start.
Yep, it is a smart approach for sure here from the side of the Dudley boys. So let's see. Falcons, how do you respond? Right now you don't have a clear way, so they're just gonna go with the Luna. This time around, I am the most impressed with what Dudley boys have come up with. So I think this, if they had started the series this way, we might be seeing a completely different result at the moment. But the question is, Kips, even if this works, is it too late?
It's never too late until the Ancient falls. Never, ever, ever. Like,
3 times in the grand finals.
They came here to win 3 maps. They still have 3 maps left to win.
Yep, it's the same thing.
It is the same thing. I mean, it doesn't feel the same, certainly. Much like, you know, I could put you on like a 30 centimeter wide beam on the floor and tell you to walk over it, and you'd do it just like that. And then I put it over a canyon, and you'd be like, "Woman, are you trying to kill me?" If I did that, yes, I would be, by the way. But psychologically, yeah, of course it's a whole lot different. But you gotta tell yourself that it isn't, right?
Yeah, but Kips isn't trying to kill me. My colleague loves me. I'm gonna be okay, guys.
You, dude.
I'm gonna be okay, guys.
You're safe. I need you.
Okay. If you say so, now I feel better, and hopefully I'm gonna stay needed for a long time, as now I know that already you have planned. You know, just like Batman has plans to deal with every single one of the guys from Justice League. So Kips is Batman. That's the conclusion that I've gotten to. But Falcons, they still have one more ban before the draft continues. I like the Clockwork ban for sure, as that is a hero that the Mars really hates playing against. Laning phase wise, game wise, whatever the case, cogs are just an annoying thing for you, because everything latches onto the cogs. If it doesn't latch to the edge of the arena, the damage just isn't there.
Yep, and the Malrine / Amar Timbersaw, potato, both are equally spicy, is going to be taken out as well. You know who we haven't seen yet and who I didn't really miss? It's the freaking Treant Protector, but this is Fishman we're talking about.
It is Crit we're talking about as well. It's
True.
better. I think it's better to go with this. As the Dudley boys, they don't have a Luna, so immediately the Treant Protector isn't that great, but Shadow Demon is amazing save for the Mars, and amazing hero to play with the Luna, so I love it.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal save, and we've seen Crit do exactly that work already. Of course, it is also a possible setup. It can be countered. I do think that you give yourself, well, that's, for sure. If you're looking to win the laning stage, and I definitely think that the Dudley boys has had some work to do in that regard, Nature's Prophet has been overlooked a little bit this series. And if you can leverage the best body in the game, right, then you're going to be able to contribute significantly to both those side lanes. You're also going to have Treants versus the Luna, which is, as long as you as they don't die immediately, is nice extra cushioning for the glaives, for the Eclipse. There's a bunch of reasons why I think the NP is a pretty solid pickup here.
The Dudley boys didn't play the MP in the playoffs. They did play it, however, in the group stage. I guess the reason why this hero has not been touched too much is because Falcons haven't been as impressive with the Nature's Prophet as some of their other heroes. So immediately the hero is just down there. You're not picking it as a deny pick. You're only picking it if you're aware that it's gonna be amazing for you. And there's a Treant Protector. I was thinking maybe they get themselves a Tusk +1, and then they last pick the Treant if they want the Tusk mid, or they leave the Tusk for to lane with the Luna. Either way would have been okay, as the snowball save here would be amazing as well. But the Treant Protector is probably the safest approach to go for.
Yeah, and it would put you, I mean, you have the Pangolier now, so you're not necessarily on the back foot of the teamfight department if you would have picked the Tusk instead of the Treant Protector. But, well, I did mention him, the Lone Druid, and there he is. But I'm not sure how to feel about that, especially versus the Pangolier as well. We've seen bears absolutely melt to this hero. Like, the Lone Druid really only has two game plans right now. Be ahead and stay ahead, or be behind and, you know, complain about your life for 30 minutes.
That is true. Though, there's not much in terms of burst on the side of Falcons. So when we look at Falcons, they're not that great at dealing with the Lone Druid in general. What you reckon? Carry Lone Druid, or are we going to be seeing a mid lane Lone Druid maybe? I wouldn't hate it versus the Pango.
Yeah, the early levels versus the Pango are actually pretty good. That could happen. I'm just worried that they don't really have a player to put it on. Have you ever seen Ad's Lone Druid?
I don't recall it, but he seems like the type of player that can do it. You know, that's just how I feel. I think Ads is very versatile as a player. He doesn't play anything at the top tier level, but he plays everything in just a level below that. So I think he would be able to pull it off. On the other hand, maybe I would want a little bit more of magic damage potential from the mid laner of the Dudley boys.
If anything, like, but MC has been playing it so far in this tournament. They've got 3 Lone Druid games on him. I do believe 2 wins and a loss. But yeah, exactly. The Mars is also in the game. The question is, of course, we've seen 9 class, right, on that Centaur. We've seen him on all of the offlaner flex picks into position 4. They could be playing games here. This could be a core Nature's Prophet and a support Mars.
Oh, a mind control Nature's Prophet. Okay, that sounds...
Yeah? Am I selling something here?
It sounds like it's nostalgia talking out of you, not really, not really.
No, in the game itself, I wouldn't actually want to see a core NP here necessarily, but that doesn't mean that this can't be a mid lane Mars, for example, and the LD goes to MC again.
I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't mind it. I think Mars deals really well in the mid lane with the Pango, as you can't stop the shield crash with the God's Rebuke, even with the Spear. With Spear, it's a little bit tougher to do so, especially if you're planning for it, right? It can happen on accident.
Yep. And you're a great counter rotator versus the Pangolier as well.
True, though Mars probably hates the Pango more than the Pango hates the Mars. There's going to be a Faceless Void, so one of these two is going to be going to the mid lane. Now that we've talked about it a little bit more, I'm a little bit more in the Mars mid lane bracket, but we'll see what they do. So Faceless Void, again, it is you have a save for the chrono. You could say you have
Yeah.
2 saves for the chrono. Plus you have to go for a manta on the Faceless Void because of the treant. I am not sold on this Faceless Void pick.
Me neither, and that hurts to say because that for sure is going to be Yuma's hero, right? And
Yep.
I've been complaining about the options that Yuma's gotten and whether he's been picking those heroes himself or whether, you know, people behind him are saying, hey, we want to play that. Do you think that's good enough? I once again think that he's not being set up for success here.
Though, maybe if we were looking just at the chrono, no. But if we were looking at the Faceless Void as a potential of him getting the hits in without the chrono, you have so many stuns to work with. And the time dilation is amazing in this game, right? It's going to be forcing some Lotus Orbs on the side of Falcons, most likely. So I'm not too mad about the pick, but this is why I like this Underlord, right? Because you're thinking the enemies want a long fight where they're not going to be relying that much on the arena, not going to be relying on the chrono. They just want to fight, and then you bring in the Underlord, who is like the top dog when it comes to reducing the damage of your opponents, and doesn't really care all that much if he's not spamming spells. Plus, he might just have the Guardian Greaves to work with at some point. So overall, I think this is a pretty good one as a last pick, but it is not a top tier Amar hero. We do not have a top tier Malrine hero. It is something he plays, but really not at a high level. So if I would have to say, this is gonna be the closest game by far in the grand finals.
I find that hard to say just because I don't really see the synergy over on the Dudley boys side. You're going to have a very low economy here in the mid lane, right? Ads is going to be taking that Mars there. He's going to be moving fast. He's going to be moving into 2 right side lanes with right-clicking cores. But those fights are already going to take pretty long unless the Mars is really balling. And in that regard, it puts most of the game on Ads here. I do think that he's been set up into the best position that he has been. But the fact that both the arena as well as the chrono are going to be heavily countered by the 300 protector, by the fact that the disruption save is up, it makes me wonder about the ability for the Dudley boys to scale into this game.
We'll find out if they'll be able to scale into it when right now the game is ready, potentially the last game of the tournament. So if you ever needed a time to get hyped up, it is right now. Though Kips, I'm gonna go for the Dudley boys. I think they've got this one. When I look at Team Falcons, this is the type of lineup with which I can see them losing a game, because they are looking at a lineup that wants to slow things down at some points in the game, but Skitter doesn't have that hero that actually shoves out lanes, right? And these are the types of games in which they have struggled and potentially lost, right, with these kind of drafts. So
Yeah.
Dudley boys, it's now or never, not only because it's the last game, but this is actually the opportunity draft-wise in my mind for them to win.
No, I certainly agree with that
30
one. I do think
seconds to
that the
go.
Falcons have a little less of an easy time here. They need to wait for each other's item timings a lot more. There's not one player that can go completely rampant and always have the backup, right? They're missing a little bit of a burst damage component. It's really all down to Malrine to make most of the moves here, and then I hope that everything's going to turn out all right. So there's a possibility of overplay, and we've seen that by Falcons in the bum a couple of times.
The battle begins.
Amar needs a hashtag T4T in his name, as he's just constantly exchanging tips for tips, you know, just like in on Instagram, follow for follow, like for like. That's what he needs. He literally told Hakoda, I tipped you 50 seconds ago, but he's still fine, right? He accepted the tip and he gave it back. It doesn't matter.
It's only courteous as we watch Yuma go towards his lane here. He is... You're going to be doing decent as a Faceless Void in that lane, but it doesn't feel too great because your damage is not going to be good because of the aura coming out from the Underlord, and you're going to constantly be using your Time Walk to turn back all of the extra burn damage from the AoE, so it's a pretty defensive lane for you, I want to say.
I'm really curious to see how 9 class does in this lane here, or overall in the laning phase in general, because he has been very impressive even when losing. he has done a pretty decent job. So I really want to see, when you have so many possibilities, if he's going to be finding the right ones for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the hallmarks of a great player, right? There's like finding a lot of things to do with a hero that can't make plays for itself, like always being in the right place at the right time. And the other one is taking the right choices out of an endless arsenal of choices.
Yep. Because there's not only one right choice when you're playing the Nature's Prophet, though. I think he's mostly going to be looking towards the bottom lane, because that's where you have two pretty slow heroes with a lot of lockdown potential. And the only thing that the Lion and the Faceless Void are missing is damage, which Nature's Prophet brings quite a lot of.
Exactly. There's no real escape mechanism. All Crit can do is slow down the assault, and you're going to, of course, if you go for more, you're going to have to sidestep a lot of those poisons coming out from Crit. But there's no reason to say that Amar isn't a possible killer in this way. I think he has to play a little bit more careful in that bot lane than he normally would.
I'm guessing that's probably the lane where we can expect the most kills to happen. The Luna and the Treant Protector are a strong lane, but I don't think they're particularly strong versus these two on the top lane that they're playing against, because they do a constant amount of damage, and doing constant amount of damage to a glowing druid bear doesn't really do much for you in the long run. It's just gonna get resummoned, and then you go through the whole endeavor again with him getting another Rift summon fairly soon.
As long as those levels keep coming, the bears keep coming. And it leaves us with this mid lane here, where ads currently mostly keeping up with Malrine, 2 denies more, a couple of CS less. And at any rate, I think both of these here are going to... We might see a couple of rotations to the mid lane on the level 6, just because both of them would definitely appreciate making an attempt on the other if they hit their 6 first.
The problem with the Mars in the mid lane is that he used to be, and probably still is, this win lane, lose game type of a mid laner. And he's not even winning the mid lane now, so that kind of scares me.
It is. On the other hand, with the 2 side laners that you currently got, I'm just happy that they have a hero on the mid lane that isn't too demanding. You could go for straight up I mean, you're going to probably get the blink, but you could also go for straight up a BKB first in this game and just enjoy the fact that you're immortal and walk around the map causing havoc. And it really doesn't take you that much time to get to that point in the game where you're going to be buying so much space for the other 2 cores, which is what you're really looking for in this game.
Mind Control is struggling today. He really shined in the series that they won versus Falcons. He shined in this tournament. That whole top lane of the Dudley boys did, but Mind Control isn't feeling too well today, and even now his CS does show it. At least he's gonna be getting some creeps close to the tower, so should be able to get himself something. Bashes? Nah, no more bashes. He's gonna be fine.
No more for now, and Nature's Prophet just a little too busy on the top lane to make the attempt over, but this is exactly, yeah, well, the Night Glass is threatening it.
Blood Grenade connects, Kidder is taking some damage, they need to entangle. Now they're gonna turn around on the Fishman, who really doesn't have that much mana, or armor, or HP to work with, but gets himself to escape, so will be able to survive. And some pressure is being applied to this Luna lane, meaning Mind Control will be able to somewhat catch up in the CS department.
And he has a lot of denies here as well. Don't count that out. Keeping your opponent
10
down
is a
is
lot.
almost as important as staying up yourself as an offlaner.
Yeah, for sure. That is very true. The Mars is taking a long walk back to the base, which is kind of annoying. Malrine showing that he definitely knows this matchup better than Azantic. Just goes to show Malrine is a really good Pango, and we talked about it. Azantic, he's versatile, but that just means that you're not going to be playing these heroes on Malrine's level.
Yeah, I think the hero where he would definitely outclass Malrine is on the Invoker, but that hero has never gotten the chance to appear in this series yet.
Again, a problem where Falcons, they have a lot more leeway with what they need to ban, whereas for the Dudley boys, you have like 4 or 5 heroes that you can't really allow them to go through. And now Amar, he has his Vanguard. This is why I wanted 9 class to rotate before that happens, to get the kill at least once. A nice deny on Hakoda.
Very important.
We are 6 minutes in and we don't have a kill, Kips. It's
Yeah, we don't.
and I don't want to say that there weren't opportunities and possibilities and people getting low. So it's not that the teams are passive. It's just that they're missing that burst in the side lanes, especially to finish off heroes.
Yep, the burst from Dudley boys is really not going to come out until the level 6s, and the burst from the Falcons is really just not going to come in general. It is mostly going to be Malrine. And I mean, I'm underselling the amount of damage that a Mars with 4 points in both of his spells does, right? That's that also certainly counts as burst, but that also not ready to be leveraged just yet.
Fishman is trying to steal the rune. He's having a lot of fun there, staying for like 10 seconds, sorry, 30 seconds, and he will steal the rune, so it's worth it. It is gonna be a first blood, however. Who gets it? It will be 9 class who finishes him off, already has the urn, and Mind Control will be the next one to pay the price. He tried to get as many CS as he could before his inevitable death, so 2 wisdom runes, first blood on the other side, and a follow-up kill for Falcons. I'd say that is still a victory for Falcons in general.
Absolutely it is, yeah.
Amazing what you
And
found
the
in
level
Pinnacle.
6s are so important over on the side of Dudley boys, just because 2 Dark Horse don't really do that much, whereas sure, you can say the same about Amar, right? What is his ultimate going to do exactly? But he is going to naturally be big enough to just walk down this lane, and Yuma is eventually going to get out-traded. So he doesn't need to move, he is the move.
And there's the arena. No chance to use a disruption. Will be going down. Hakoda got that kill. I think he didn't mean to. And Mars kind of needs those kills as he is trailing behind Malrine by 1,000 gold.
He is, and whether you want the Blink or the BKB, that's an item that's sorely needed for you to get active in the game, and that's... well...
Did you see that burst damage? That was that was brutal. I'm not gonna lie.
That was brutal, and the defusal in this game, especially versus the Faceless Void, he does not like being out of mana
Radiant's
whatsoever.
middle tower is under attack.
And he usually does have mana problems as he does spam his spells quite a lot in a fight. Chrono isn't too huge of a mana spell, but when you use 5 time walks, time dilation, and then you add a diffusal blade on top of that, that could be an issue.
Absolutely. Ad's now getting pressured, which is exactly the way to keep a hero that needs to rotate down, right? This Mars wants to be doing stuff right now, not sitting around here waiting to see if an attempt on his life is going to be made or not, if they're going to be overextending or not.
Speaking of life attempts, Skitter is gonna have one on it. The chrono will be beautiful, placed by Yuma, and that allows Mind Control, both him and his bear, to continue with the hits. I don't know if the chrono was even needed, but you want to make sure that she doesn't get too far there on the Luna. Meanwhile, the mid lane, the disruption onto 9 class, that could be a kill that Falcons get in return, and 9 class will be taken down for the 2nd time in this game. So another kill for Falcons, but losing a core, getting a support, pretty solid for the Dudley boys in general.
Absolutely, and now at the very least you have bot and C into the same kind of position where it's gonna hurt.
Yep, and you're allowing Mind Control to have a game. It is huge.
Yeah.
Where's the entangle? He really isn't having luck today. He'll get it on the last hit where it wasn't really necessary, but still, fine. You got the kill, you're pressuring the tower. This is what you want to do with the Lone Druid.
Exactly, and now you're going to be actually doing it faster than Amar, which is, it could allow you to maybe even try to save this bottom tower when you get the top tower for nothing. And that's a situation that the Dudley boys have never been in that series, as just about in time.
Looks pretty fine. We'll be going for the arena. Malrine is gonna be getting out of his Rolling Thunder, and he cannot leave the arena. Xantic doesn't have that much mana. He has the spear. Nice haste from Malrine. He'll be fine. Slows down Xantic. Crit just demolishes him with the poison stacks as 9 class comes over, and again he will be an easy hero to take down. They leave the kill for Malrine. He'll be getting it easily as Amar is being targeted. This is not an easy kill, but Mind Control, can he do some damage? Actually, just pops the Soul Ring to do at least a little bit of damage to that creep wave. Will allow him to put the tower in the deny range, but it will get taken down. That's still 2 towers the Team Falcons will be able to take down in pretty close window.
Absolutely. The fact that they put the pressure on the middle tower when they know that the Dudley boys are going to try to finally get that bottom tower trade correctly is just brutal, and it actually means that the Dudley boys just lose both towers in the same fell swoop.
Yep.
And now they're still behind, even though MC has recovered, even though they did have the upper hand on that top lane in the end. It's just so frustrating.
Is under attack.
A smoke from the Dudley boys. They want to use the finger. Don't have the arena, however. So that's one thing that you're missing. There is a smoke on Team Falcons and Fishman's. It will break. He's going up the hill. Okay, this isn't looking good any longer. Hakoda doesn't have the mana for the finger, and his fingers are gonna be cut off as Malrine gets the kill. And well, Mars, at least he will be able to escape safely.
Brutal. As Malrine is popping off this game. This man is so rich and he's dealing so much damage at this point in the game that I am unsure how they're going to stop him, right? Because even if you chrono him, he's going to be overly tanky at this point. You're going to have to probably save the finger for him? Question mark? It's not going to be easy.
He gets the Rolling Thunder off. If you do not have the chrono to slow him down, you have to run. There's no other way around it. And very rarely does Malrine make mistakes in overextending with the Pango. And in this game, even if he does living armor, some auras from the Underlord are probably going to be there at some point, and the disruption as well. So a lot of things to keep him alive.
So I do think that the Dudley boys would be really happy if Malrine could make a mistake right about now. That would be absolutely delicious. Overextend into a chrono on the next rotation. That would give him a decent shot at having a good mid game. If he doesn't, they've got their work cut out for them.
He has played a killer grand final up until now, though, and when Malrine starts feeling invincible, he actually does become invincible. So it's very hard to just hope that he's randomly gonna make a mistake. Dudley boys, they're gonna have to force it out.
Entirely possible. Malrine moves over to the top lane. There's several Radiant heroes there. You'd hope to grab MC there, right? And he is not bailing fast enough.
In a grabbing position. Hakoda is there and will get a stun. That's pretty nice. They have the Hex, the finger as well, but the disruption will keep him alive. Mar comes over, protecting Malrine. The finger comes out only onto the Treant Protector, and now it means that poor mind control will be taken out. Hakoda also ran down by Skitter, and it's taking a long time. First they'll kill the bear, then they'll kill you. So everything going their way. I think Skitter got the bear as well, meaning that his net worth skyrocketed after that engagement.
Yeah, because the 3 cores of the side of Dudley boys were actually, well, mostly ahead of the other 2 cores at least, but not anymore. And the MC was a really hard target. I think if the Dudley boys have any way to bring anybody in there, then that fight could get turned, but Ads just got his Blink Dagger delivered during that. It feels like once again the itemization on Ads coming in exactly after the moment that Falcons has already made the move, so now they need to be hunting instead, and it's a stab in the dark.
See, maybe they know where Skitter is. Okay, he's not farming 1 Ancient. He's at the graveyard, exactly where you need to be, as we're gonna bury you, Skitter. He has been found. You're not getting out of this one alive. Arena, not needed. The Xantic wanted that kill. In the end, Yuma will be the one getting it. Not bad either way. Both of these heroes are needed for the victory of the Dudley boys, so at least they find Skitter. This is gonna be a clean kill.
Yeah, it's a clean kill, and that is also equalization on the middle towers, with MC not being involved in that gank at all, means that he can safely chew on the tower, and that net worth is dwindling just a little bit.
Once the Underlord gets a pipe, however, I'm very much afraid for the damage of the Dudley boys, right? You've killed the Luna now, fine, but how are you gonna kill her when there's a pipe, when there's a disruption protecting her? It is not gonna be easy, but that's why you have this lineup that can fight everywhere on the map, get some pickoffs. This is what I like. They always have some chances of making plays.
They do. And the fact that 9 class can always come in, the fact that they get the creep waves out because of his involvement, even if he doesn't have, like, you know, the I'm actually playing core from a support style of Nature's Prophet right now, he does have the Vessel. That's going to be contributing a lot of damage, especially into tankier heroes like we're going to be seeing with Amar. Malrine doesn't necessarily enjoy that either, as he is caught.
He got saved though. The chrono will be onto the 2 of them. The question is, can you kill Malrine after this with Hakoda coming over? They're gonna have the lockdown living armor keeping him alive, and the finger will make sure that he's dead. That's gonna be a beautiful fight. 9 class did die on the other side of the map, but that is really a small price to pay considering what you have gained. The highest net worth hero on the map is dead.
Absolutely, you take that any day of the week. And that shows the, well, the one weakness of having such a good save versus both Arena as well as Chrono. You only have one of those saves.
Only one. As Falcons now, they know there's no Chrono, so it's probably time for Roach Fishman. Ulti at the ready. You should have escaped when he had the chance, though he didn't want to. He has help. Yuma will be able to jump out. Bit of Malice, connecting onto the line. Hakoda is in trouble. Mind control in the vicinity. Nice save from Crit. Both of the supports are gonna stay alive. Yuma, he does have another time walk. Will be fine for now. As Mind control is trying to run away. He's gonna leave his bear that cannot attack any longer. Going for a TP out. Loosen Beam doesn't allow it. And it is gonna be a bear dead and the lion dead. And that's about it. And okay, Mind control. He stayed a little bit too long.
Gets found by Marina on the backlines there. Nonetheless, Dudley boys making that move shows that they are ready to bring Yuma in now as well. He's got the Maelstrom, which is you're fragile as a faceless point in these fights, but if you don't lose your mana, and Malrine wasn't really at the center of that, then actually versus the long and steady damage of Falcons, he can fight for a long time. The correct read there, and it's very unfortunate that it is going to cost them the Roche right now, which is probably exactly what they tried to prevent by fighting them.
Yep. Or at least get something out of it to kill or to delay it as much as possible. As you know, when your Chrono is down, you're versus the Pango, it is gonna be Roche time for sure. He might not have the disarm, but that slower attack speed is still something that allows you to get the Roche without really taking any significant damage.
Very true. I'm not sure how much Skitter is going to be leveraging this Aegis though. I think he definitely still wants to grab the Manta style, make progress towards the BKB. It's probably more like insurance for him right now. I don't really see a good reason for Falcons to push the tempo here too hard. They simply don't have the lineup for that, I'd say.
Oh, they were hunting for Crit. First of all, they revealed their ward. Now they're gonna be losing 9 class, and also they've just seen how fast Crit can react with the Blink Dagger. He saw them coming from a mile away.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Got reactions from the 3 cores.
Dire's bottom tower.
So far, I think the Dudley boys are pretty happy with how they have weathered the storm. They have items on both of their side lane scores right now, which means that the right click damage is coming in. Yuma's got his farm secured. He is making good progress towards the BKB actually as well, which is going to work wonders for him versus especially the mana burn, right? And
for
some
sure.
of the roots, not the overgrowth.
The BKBs are coming. That's pretty huge. That's why I was thinking maybe the Luna wants to press the issue with the Sagas, and she is. The tier 2 is on the menu. The glyph will protect it for now. And it seems like Skitter, he's not feeling too comfortable going for it.
No, it's hard to feel comfortable when you know that actually Chrono and Arena are waiting for the Fishman makes the initiation.
They knew about this. They also had the sentry, got rid of the ward, but it doesn't matter. Hakoda tries to escape there. The Glimmer Cape won't help you. It's gonna be taken out easily, and they will get rid of the bear as well. Mind control, he's running away. He's leaving his spirit bear. You have lost your spirit, and now you might lose your life as well. Hiding in the trees. Again, he's really good at this juke stuff. Malrine is very good at finding him as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, yeah, and I think both you and Falcons as well have the right idea that with those BKBs coming out. It's time to take a couple more of those towers down, but Dudley boys also really not intending to fight this at all. They're throwing 2 heroes under the bus there.
Yep. I mean, you just didn't want to get dove, I guess. But the second that ward was placed by Fishman, even though it lasted for a second, it was worth it. Not even a second, probably.
And now you're going to be looking at a really rough timing still. You have the BKB on the Mars. Did Yuma also just buy it? Because Axe is up on Azantic now. And we have a Crimson Guard for the Underlord as well. If Falcons are grouped currently, I'm not sure yet, but that's a Chrono and a half.
And they are not grouped. There's going to be a follow-up stun. Actually, He pulled him out of the stun there. Amar is gonna get hexed up as well, and it is only a matter of time before he dies. Crimson Guard, Pipe, all of those things are nice, but when surrounded with 5 heroes, it is only a matter of time before you're dead.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And I was looking at the minimap, like, where's Crit, where's the save? And the answer is that they were already moving over to take the enemy Tormentor. So once again, aiming for the objectives and the permanent damage. You're never going to get that shard
Dire's
back
middle tower
versus
is under attack.
the 2 kills. But that does keep Dudley boys financially in a really good place, and Aegis is going to time out now without many more towers going down.
Yep, they did shove out the lanes quite nicely. I really like Yuma, no hesitation to move towards the bottom lane. Maybe there's a chance for Team Falcons to push the mid lane. It's not out of the question, but it is pretty deep and a narrow window of 50 seconds, so you're probably not going to risk it. So overall,
Radiant's middle
that
tower
is
under attack.
that is pretty good for the Dudley boys.
Yeah. Gold difference slowly getting pushed back. Harpoon over on the bear. Get yourself a little bit more range to hook anybody closer.
Radiant are
I
scanning.
think they should be really happy with the position that they're at in the game right now.
They should, for sure. 4k, 3k goal lead, it's not too much. The only reason they have that is because they took 2 Tormentors. Without it, it's about to be the same. Mind control, think about going through that portal. Now he's gonna find out that death is coming through it, as Crit is there as well. Mind control is trying to finish him off. Not gonna be happening. The disruption is there, but the arena will be amazing in Mind control because of it. He's gonna be surviving with the spear only onto the illusion, and from the backlines, Melreen comes over. He has been a problem for Mind control in this game. 9 class, no chance in hell you're surviving it. The Lucent Beam is gonna take him out, and it's Antic. He would be lucky to escape. Doesn't want to pop the BKB, doesn't have a TP out. The question is, do you even survive with the BKB pop as well? The answer will be there fairly soon, and the answer is no. Glimmer Cape on Hakoda on cooldown. It's just 1 by 1. We said that they were having a solid time, Kips, not any longer.
Absolutely not any longer. That's... I don't even know exactly how that happens. Sure, they go on MC. It means that there's a long time for them to bring that lone druid down, so there's time to react. They're diving your tier 1 and 2 there as well. But I'm guessing that there was a TP missing on the Void or something to that effect, because you did have the Chrono at the ready as well. Yeah, I think I saw his TP just come off CD.
There it is, and it's gonna be on the Luna. She's alone. Does have the Shard protecting her, and that Sprout maybe even helping Skitter a bit. Not enough. The disruption a little bit too late. Demonic Purge on Yuma. No force steps to get Skitter to the high ground. Yuma will be TPing away and will be successful at it. No Basher just yet on Melreen, but there is a Shard on Fishman. That's more than enough to at least catch 9 class.
At least you get something out of the Chrono, but now once again, as soon as Skitter is back up, there is no Chrono. That's another free-for-all for the side of Falcons. They can do whatever they want once again.
That's why I want these lanes to get pushed out now while the Luna is dead. Amar, though, is not allowing it. Look at his position.
Dire are scanning.
He knows it's going to take every single thing that the Dudley boys have in order to bring him down.
Is under attack.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, maybe even more. He is not that far off of the Greaves either. He's going to have that in
Radiant's
like,
middle
just
tower
about
is
2
under
minutes, I
attack.
think. And when that happens, Falcons, as long as they're together, I just don't see where Dudley boys get damage anymore from. We've seen them have trouble with that already.
Okay, this disruption on the Mars. Bit of Malice connects again. This time around, he's gonna go for the BKB a little bit earlier, but the Demonic Purge isn't allowing him to run whatsoever. He will take a lot of damage from it, but in the end will survive. Poison stacks. Close to death? Not close enough. He needed 4, maybe even 5 to bring him down.
Radiant's middle tower
Marlene's going to be
has
killing poor 9 class, I think, on the bottom lane.
Yeah, 9 class hasn't really shined on this Nature's Prophet. He has been the target of hate from Teal Falcons for a good reason. He did destroy them in the upper bracket semifinal.
Yeah. Oh, Crit's gonna come back into this camp and find himself a little surprise. Bodo comes in.
Yuma goes to the side. They need a tree and the overgrowth. It is there.
Got him.
Fishman, he got him, and there's gonna be a root follow-up. Yuma, he cannot turn back time. Maybe he could have jumped to the other side, but because of the turn rate, he wasn't allowed to go to the direction that he wanted to. Either way, it would have probably resulted in a kill anyways. So that's a huge one.
Falcons are simply not allowing Dudley boys to shove these side waves out very far without repercussions. They come back to kill you every single time. And now that Skitter is back up, yeah, Dragonlance at the ready, Manta style. These towers are going to start falling again. You're going to have your entire kit going down.
Now, he has been found. He's not going to leave the Pit of Malice. That's where he will be buried by his enemies. And this is a problem. You should have had your Chrono now, but you're just dying one by one. There will be an entangle on Malrine. Of course, you can't get the kill. Maybe they can bring down the Spirit Bearer with the Demonic Purge. It's not a maybe. It's a definitely. Look at how fast he's being taken down. Skitter. That's an Observer Ward that was taken. I'm not really sure who got the 300 gold, but in the end, it doesn't matter, as they're getting everything they need.
It's only a matter of time before the star falls. MC is still scouting with his bear, which to me signals that, because if the bear dies now, they're just without a bear for 2 minutes, so they are most likely looking for a fight here on the Dudley boys.
This time around, Crit is in position, and he has a ward there on the lane, so this would be a bad position for the Dudley boys, but I understand it. You have a Chrono, you want to at least threaten with it.
As they should.
Rolling Thunder, speaking of threatening, keys in the ignition, that bear, it's baiting, or is it dying? That's the question. Good angle. Azantic wants to create some space. Roll up from Malrine, and the Rolling Thunder will be there coming forward. Has that Aghanim Scepter. Azantic demonically purged. Has the BKB. Might have to pop it now. He does protect himself from the Luna damage. The arena catches absolutely no one. 9 class takes some damage from Fishman on the side. Has been rooted. Now it's Fishman that has to run maybe the entirety of Falcons, as well as they have lost the big team fight. Hero jump in from Malrine. That is a huge shield crash. He's not really going to be taking the damage. The Chrono does connect Yuma. He needs to be getting the damage in, but the disruption will be there. It's not going to be enough. Amar on the other side, he's really not a target. Malrine now out of the disruption. He's going to be caught. That career of the Faceless Void, I have no idea how it's still being ignored, but they will allow it to live. The supports on the Dudley boys, however, they're going to be slaughtered. It will be the neutral creeps that do get 9 class, but Mind Control, he would love to get denied by neutrals right now. Not going to be happening. Savage Roar in a second will never get a chance to use it. It will be 3 heroes dead, while Team Falcons, they only lose a position 5.
And I'm feeling like Ads doesn't know, right? He jumps in there and he doesn't know that actually if he immediately pops his arena, he has, I think, 3 heroes. I think he's actually got both his supports as well as Skitter in the arena if he pops immediately, but he has 0 information, so he's still scouting. He can't just pop it there and risk catching absolutely nobody. But instead, because of the hesitation and because he's jockeying for the position, that's exactly what happens. And that's just rough.
I think what happened there was that he only saw Malrine, and the second he saw that roll-up being used, he's like, nope, this is not the target that I want. And he wasn't aware that the other heroes were in the vicinity.
Exactly.
It is what it is, and it makes sense that the Shadow Demon would probably be behind, a lot more behind him, and you probably won't catch him. So I think 99% of players play that the same way, and I'd say it's the right way to play it. It just unfortunately doesn't work out.
But from our perspective, it's such a tragedy, isn't it?
Yep, it is. It really is. And that is a fight without the overgrowth. Yeah, that's not looking good for the Dudley boys, but they might have that Chrono for the Roche fight. Can you get there in time, however? The answer might be no. Roche has respawned, and they're not close.
They aren't. They're once again choosing, I think, to ignore the Roshan in hopes of actually getting themselves a little bit more room to breathe, getting these waves out, getting a little bit of damage on the enemy tier 2s, maybe grabbing a room here and there. And you can only imagine that if you actually move down that bottom lane in search for the Roshan, what you're going to do is you're going to run into Amar. And in the time it takes you to kill him, Falcons are going to have the Roche already. Either that, or they're going to come back, support him, and you're going to have shown all your heroes because you need everybody to be wailing on Amar in order to kill him at all. It's a lose-lose. You can't take that.
Some big things are there for the Dudley boys, which is Mjolnir on the Faces Void almost done, and of course you're level 20. Those are some big timings to look forward to. Is it enough versus the Aegis Cheese? Have you delayed this game enough for the Dudley boys to actually have a shot, Gibbs?
Rough to say. The Void is going to be dealing a lot of damage if the Purge has been used on somebody else. And the Overguard is gone, like between those two. After those are gone, I think you might actually be able to fight a long fight with Yuma and deal a ton of damage, but you have to bait out those two spells first. I can't see any way to fight if those aren't down first.
They're not allowing their tier 3 to die. You have to slow it down, as then the plays really become dangerous. Curse of the Old Growth on the Luna. No Hurricane Puck. He already used it on the backlines. The Rolling Thunder is keeping everybody at bay. Let's get it now with the Tar being dead. He goes for the Eclipse, running forward, wants to finish off the line, gets a double kill. The supports are gone in the backlines. There was a Chrono, but what if you only kill Fishman? He's trying to go for the Overgrowth. The heals are there. The BKB's gonna be getting him now. Yuma, he also had that Manta. Now with the bashes, they might finish off Fishman, but what about with the rest of them? Finally, Luna has died, but that's only her first life. Deep in the enemy base, help is coming. They get the disruption onto the Faces Void. He needs help, and with the roots, he's never getting out of them. No buyback for 75 seconds. He just finished off his item, which means that this lane of Rax is gone. And Hakoda, he bought back, doesn't want to die again, will not be allowed. Mind control protecting them, both him and his bear, going for Malrine. He doesn't have any mana, doesn't care about your Diffusal Blade, and I think that's the second bear that gets killed in that fight. Is the disaster, Kips.
It is absolutely ruinous. The jump from Malrine just makes sure that once again it is about seconds. Malrine goes in just before the Dudley boys make their jump, and because of that window, the supports from the Dudley boys can't actually back up, can't lend their burst damage to the cores that are currently taking care of the Falcons backline, and instead you get this weird split fight where neither side of the Dudley boys can do anything, and the side of Falcons get to leverage all of their net worth and all of their tankiness, especially those auras brought in by Amari. Yuma was wailing on them and he did nothing.
I think really all of those auras are making a difference, and this is the Aegis Cheese plus all the auras that you have, plus mind control right now. He's not a hero. He has wraith bands and like branches. That is not something that allows doing right next to the throne. He's gonna be broken, destroyed, doesn't have a buyback. The arena onto nobody. Malrine stays inside of it there just for good measure, with 9 class trying to TP out. That will not be allowed. Malrine gets a mega kill as Yuma is gonna be jumping on the Luna. The spear as well, trying to finish him off. They're not doing any damage. Skinner just pushes himself out of it and we'll be fine. That's gonna be it for the 25-year anniversary show. We have our champions, and it is Team Falcons. They end it with a triple-double on 2 of their cores, and the Dudley boys today, they were no match.
They were not, and it's... I think in some ways, I guess they are a little unlucky that they meet Team Falcons for the second time, and that Falcons gets to learn and improve, where the Dudley boys clearly had mostly a single trick up their sleeve, and Falcons were ready for it this time. And that makes all of the difference in the world. It's night and day if you compare this series with the previous one.
They dismantled them. In game 1, I think they dismantled them, and from there onward, Dudley boys had a problem. I think though in this game 3 they prepared for it properly, Kips. But Falcons were or are most definitely winning 3-0. They are the better team. So they are gonna be our victors, definitely deservingly so. They only lost 1 series, lost 3 games altogether in the entirety of the tournament. So pretty impressive stats overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And while as casters and as viewers, you're gonna be a little bit like, oh man, another 3-0. It's always a 3-0 with the Pinnacle Cup. But you know what? I do feel good that every single time we've handed the honors, we've handed the boot camps, and we've handed the money to a team that has been undoubtedly the best in the tournament. And Team Falcons really sealed the deal here with this 3-0.
Pinnacle, they have really given to the community here, because this is the 5th tournament of the year. We had 4 Malta Vibes tournaments of $50,000 prize pool. This is a $100,000 prize pool. Team Falcons are gonna be winning $50,000 themselves. Dudley boys, well, they were close to getting the grand prize, but they're not gonna be leaving empty-handed either. So before we end the show, Kips, do you think Dudley boys are gonna be happy? You know, okay, now they're gonna be feeling sad since they lost, but maybe in a couple of days, looking back to this tournament, is it gonna be positive emotions for them?
Yeah, I think so. The whole lineup only really came together at the last minute. I can tell you that much. And they had to improvise a little bit after MC was game to come and play. So I don't quite think that they thought they were going to get that far. Like, surely with the quality of players they have and the staff behind the scene, like, I can confidently say that they put a lot of work in. But they didn't have too much time for this. So all in all, I think you're only feeling a little defeated because you got your nails into them, right? You had a shot in that first series, you did knock them down, and you just didn't have the momentum to carry that through to the finals. I think that stings. But as far as like the results go on this timeline, I think they're going to be satisfied.
This is one of the best 25th birthday parties that I've ever been to. It has lasted for almost 20 days, Kips, and I've had a lot of fun casting with you. I'm hoping that all of our colleagues had a lot of fun as well. The champions probably had a lot of fun as well. Snaking, hopefully he is having a nice trip right now, because the reason he wasn't here is because of that trip. But of course, all of it was made possible by Pinnacle, who are the ones that were actually celebrating that 25th birthday. And hopefully all of you guys at home did manage to get a little bit of the atmosphere that we had here. But that's gonna be it for us for now, for this year, for sure. This was our 5th tournament, and hopefully all of you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to follow Pinnacle Esports Dota 2 on Twitter. You can follow Pinnacle Esports as well, and go to their website, pinnacle.gg, if you want to be putting some money in. We're not gonna have Dota, but there are other things that you can definitely bet on. You can also follow Kips at Kipspool, me, Harry Frick, and all of our colleagues, Rob, Bluescale, Automo, and Bowie, that were giving you the Dota action in this tournament. Hopefully all of you enjoyed. That's gonna be it from us for now. Until next time, bye-bye.
Oh, Esport. You and I have come a long way. It was such humble beginnings. As we gathered in small groups, we were professionals right from the start. Passionate, organized, and ready to rumble. We dreamed big, and surely enough, our parents supported us at every step of the way. Didn't they? Fired up by all this love, it wasn't long until we caught the scent of competition. To be honest with you, it wasn't always that easy. Joe here, he had to take on 2 side jobs to afford playing professionally. It's gonna get better, Joe. Fist bump. And some of you dared to not even call this a sport. And look where we are today. An endless stream of esports events every year. Bet you didn't see that coming, Mom and Dad. And you know what? We have been with you every single step of the way. Sorry. Go on, go back. That's it. That's better. Keep going. Let's bring that down here. No. Keep going. Go. Roll. And cut. Cut the thing. I'm going. Where are you going? Where are you going? Hey, come back. Guys, ladies. I don't know if that's correct. No.
Dream of working with people you watch on screen. Exclusive esports opportunities handpicked just for you. Candidate profile to raise above competition. Let 10GG handle routines. Make a step towards your dream today.
Stop.